And this is where MAGA comes to talk. And man, oh man, did you guys catch the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday? That was one of the most historical things any of us, me too, have experienced in a long time in this country. It really is. Yeah, it was amazing. And I'm going to cover all of that on the program today. Oh yeah, it was very powerful. Very powerful. The left have no idea what they've done. They just have no idea. You know, and they won't, because they're, you know, stupid and consumed with hatred. So they're just not going to get it. You know, it's just the reality. They're not going to get it. But some of them will, and those are the ones that will be red-pilled. But some of them will, and just doing a mic check. Okay, I'm going to start the main live stream in just a moment. Now, the main live stream, if you're wondering, a lot of you know, but a lot of you don't. The main live stream is where you can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. All right, here you just get the green screen. You get to see and hear me and hear the callers. But on the main stream, you get to see the video, hear the audio I play, see the articles I show, and all of that. So that's a place you want to go to catch everything that's going on. All right, I'm going to start the main stream now. The link to the main stream is pinned in the live chat, and it's also in the description of the video. Here we go. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, man, did you all catch the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday? That was one of the most historical events of any American's lifetime. It was so moving and so powerful, and the left have no idea what's happened here. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to bring up what I'm about to say, because if you were watching that yesterday, there's a lot of things to say, and we'll talk about it. And certainly your calls are welcome at 1-888-465-2631. It's toll free no matter where you're watching. And let me know how you felt and what your observations are. Left or right, toll free 888-465-2631. But a lot happened at the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday. But what happened when Erika Kirk came out and said, "I forgive him," and it was really the bookend of a long day of just incredible things. But when Erika Kirk came out and said, I forgive him. That was the beginning of a religious revival in this country that has not happened in any living American's lifetime. This does not. That actually, I think it's safe to say that Erika Kirk launched the largest Christian revival in the history of the United States. And I'll tell you, even before that, it was amazing when the cabinet started coming up, right? Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, all of them, and the vice president, they were doing something that I don't know has ever been done, certainly not since the days of television, but they were all talking about Jesus. It was a Christian revival all day long. You know? But when Erika Kirk came out and forgave the assassin, that's when the American Christian revival began. The whole event was a Christian revival. And I don't know if that was intended or if it just happened. But that's how we are in this country. This is a Christian nation, very religious nation, very conservative nation. And I've never seen anything like that when you have the senior cabinet members, one right after the other, praising Jesus. I don't like these code words. People use the Lord. A lot of people say the Lord. And I know the Lord's acceptable, but a lot of people don't like to say Jesus. Sometimes they'll say God, which is appropriate too, but they don't like to say Jesus. That was last night, the beginning of an American Christian revival like this country has never seen. I'll tell you, long before Erika Trump came out, I can't remember exactly when during the event it was, but my daughter called me about something we were going to do together this week, and I said, "Hey, why don't we go to church this coming weekend?" And we're going to go to church together this coming weekend. I'm here to tell you, I have not been to church in a long, long time, and it's been even a longer time since I've been to church with my daughter. Now, that doesn't mean I do pray every day. I'm a Christian. I am a very, very serious, true believer, but I haven't been to church in a long time, and certainly not with my daughter. And hopefully my wife will be able to go because of her disability. Getting out to church is difficult for her. And I was inspired to go back to church, and I am dedicating myself to go back to church at least once a week, if not more than once a week if I can. And that was all because what really inspired me to do that was watching the Charlie Kirk memorial yesterday. I can't remember exactly at what point my daughter called me and this happened, but it was before the cabinet started coming up. I know that because they took a break. I did a quick live stream, and then they came back and the cabinet started coming up. So it was before that. And how many of you felt the same way, that there is an American Christian revival in this country? And the left just don't get it. Now, if you're watching on the live stream with the green screen behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the video and audio that I share on the program, and also see the articles and such that I go over. And the link to the main stream is pinned in the live chat, and it's also in the description of the video if you're watching on the green screen. So that's where the main live stream and the main chat are. I mean, I was, many years ago, oh gosh, this must have been 20 years ago by now. Maybe around 20 years ago. Remember the Promise Keepers? I don't know. Are they still around? Steve Kane and I went to the Promise Keepers event in Miami, at the same arena where the Miami Heat play, down in Miami. And I had never been to I'm Catholic, that's an evangelical thing, but I wasn't Catholic yet when we went to that. And that was a Christian revival event. It was for men. I'd never been anything like that, not that large. And what went on at the Charlie Kirk Memorial was like the Promise Keepers event, but it wasn't just for men, it was for everyone. The estimates are there were over 200,000 people in attendance at the arena because so many didn't get in, on top of the full house on the inside. And I haven't seen any estimates on how many people watched it around America, but many, many millions. I mean, it very well may be one of the highest rated events. It's probably the highest rated Sunday event in a long, long time. But I've seen no estimates on how many people watched on all, television, online, and all of that. And it's probably hard to come up with a number of that. But a huge percentage of the country watched it. And one of the things that the left don't get, like Jasmine Crockett, what she did yesterday, what a disgrace. One of the things they don't get, one of the things they don't understand, because I watched a lot of the commentary online before the event. I didn't watch anything after. I went to bed after. But the left, the Democrats, and the mainstream media think that all those 200,000 people that showed up at the Charlie Kirk Memorial are all Turning Point USA people. Some of them were, but most of them weren't until after the assassination. Turning Point's a youth organization. It's mostly for college kids, but also high school students. And it's a youth organization. And most of the people that were there looked to me to be older, over 40, 30 and plus, most. And what they've done is, through this American Christian revival that's going on now, that I would say that officially began last night with Erika Kirk saying, "I forgive him." And I got to tell you, I know it's the Christian thing to do. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Certainly not that quick. And if anybody has any doubts that Charlie Kirk and his wife Erika were not true Christians, that right there sealed the deal, didn't it? How could you question her faith after that? She is a true Christian woman, Erika Kirk. I mean, that, when she came out, you could tell it was very difficult for her for obvious reasons. I wouldn't have been. Would you guys have been able to do? I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she did it. And that part, the "I forgive him" part, holy smokes. No. I mean, and she really, truly meant it. There's a lot of people that are big Christians that like Joel Osteen. I heard someone describe some of these Joel Osteen-like ministers and church sermons as kind of like TED Talks, right? Where, they're kind of like self-help things. And I've heard them actually described as TED Talks. And I think that's true with a lot of churches these days. What we saw last night was not a TED Talk, not a motivational seminar, not some self-help thing. It was true Jesus-believing Christianity by the entire administration, the entire senior cabinet, and Erika Kirk. And what they don't get is how many tens of millions of people are now standing up and supporting Charlie Kirk. Now, in the MAGA movement, in the conservative movement, it's not that we took issue with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, to most of us, we understood his importance and what he did. I've talked about so much about what he's done with the youth over the years. But I didn't listen to his show that much. I would see highlights like in my Twitter feed. I think a lot of you were this. He'd be in the news. He was an elevated, in most people's minds, he was an elevated conservative activist / influencer / pundit. He was doing a lot of Fox News lately. And we knew he was tight with the president. When I saw them together at Turning Point, I told you guys, these guys are real friends. I could tell when the president was when I saw them together, Charlie Kirk and the president, about 2 years ago, at Turning Point, I could tell they were really close friends. I could just see the look on the president's face. It's not a look you see very often, you could tell. But he wasn't, to most of the people that were there last night, to most of us in the MAGA movement, we didn't have that connection we have now, right? This has started such a new movement for change, and people are fed up. And it's like this thing with what's going on with ABC in this Jimmy Kimmel No Talent, right? Before all of this, this guy's been doing his Trump hate comedy for years. He's not even a comedian. He just goes out there and trashes Trump like Colbert, and then the audience cheers because they hate Trump. There's no comedy, no talent. But the reason he was taken off the air the other day is because even before this memorial yesterday for Charlie Kirk, the country's fed up with this crap. The country is fed up with the people that have been running it. This ugliness. I'm going to play this a little later of Jasmine Crockett with this interview she did talking about Charlie Kirk in just disgusting ways before the memorial service on Sunday. That's what's been running the country. People are sick of this stuff in this country. People are disgusted by what the left and what the media have been doing. And the Turning Point movement is thousands of times larger today than it was the day that Charlie Kirk was shot, before he was shot. It's grown thousands of times since then. Everybody wants to join it, and everybody. There's not a MAGA person out there that doesn't want to be part of a Turning Point chapter. The only problem is it's a youth organization. They do have a Christian outreach thing, which I don't know too much about, the Turning Point faith. That might be for older people. And we're seeing, and this is all because of Charlie Kirk, what we're seeing right now is a major Christian religious movement with the youth that's been going on for a while because of Charlie Kirk that I wasn't aware of. I don't think you guys were either. I did note before the assassination that I saw him at Florida State University doing the debate thing a few weeks ago. And it was not the normal visits to the campuses because the students were wearing MAGA hats and they weren't as hostile. And last night at the memorial, they showed some video, some behind the scenes video of him going to the Utah school. Pretty sad, wasn't it? But the welcoming he got was so different than the reception he was getting 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? They were welcoming him there in numbers that they didn't in the past. So they have, I still stand by that. I believe, by the way, if you're new to the program, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. The toll-free number to call in is 888-465-2631. Any thoughts you have involving the memorial yesterday certainly are welcome on the program today. How you felt, how you reacted, did you cry? Are you doing what I'm doing? You getting back into church? I'm Catholic, so I've not been to church in a long time. I've not been to confession in a long time. So as a Catholic, I have to, I haven't been to Mass in a long time, so I have to go to confession about that before Mass, before I take communion. So that's on Saturday. They have confessions on Saturday. So the last night, yesterday, and right before bed, right when the Charlie Kirk event was over, I was watching videos on YouTube on how to do confession because it's been so long since my last confession. I kind of forgot how to do it. I haven't been in so long. And before I went live here, I was watching some other videos on what to do in confession, and I was watching some mock confessions by priests and stuff. So I know you can't take communion until I go to confession because I've been in confession in so long. And I'm excited to go. It's Monday, but I wish it was Saturday so I could go to confession today. I mean, I guess I could make an appointment, but I'll wait till Saturday. I still got to brush up on how to do confession because I haven't been to one in so long. And that's a common thing. Any of you been to confession? Been a long time. But there's going to be a massive a massive increase in people like me going back to church after a long, long time. And I'm very excited about this. And of course, I'm inspired by Charlie Kirk's dedication to Jesus and Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk last night with I forgive him. Could you have done that, especially this soon? When she did that, I was like, whoa. Right? I just couldn't. I was bawling. It was tough. It was tough. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was tough. Well, but everything the left have done, the Never Trumpers, the Democrats, the fake news media, everything they've done since Trump came down the escalator has been to try to stop the MAGA movement, turn us against the president. That's what they thought with the arrest and everything and the court cases that would turn us against him, and it didn't work. And they realized it's hopeless. They're never going to turn against him, so they shot him in Butler. Right? And the PowerPoint was on the other side of the stage, so the bullet hit him, but he survived, thankfully. Then they tried to do it again at the golf course. They've given up on trying to turn us against him. And I do believe in a deep, wide conspiracy around Charlie Kirk. And this was another strategy for the midterms, but mainly for the next presidential election. They know how important Charlie Kirk and his endorsement and his movement are to not just the midterms, but mainly they're thinking about the next presidential election. The Democrats and the establishment are plotting to get back control of the party. And I believe, now again, the assassin himself may not be aware that he's in a wide conspiracy by some, the people that killed Kennedy. He's probably not aware of that. He's just a patsy. They could have recruited him in his gamer Discord server, right? Who knows? But they believed that if they stopped Charlie Kirk, that his movement would lose its juice, and when it came time for the next presidential election, they wouldn't have his endorsement, they wouldn't have his movement, and he's been flipping these college students by the millions around the country. When he first started doing these college events, the students weren't welcoming of him, but now they're welcoming him. The professors aren't. And the administration may not be, but the students are. So they've lost the youth vote. And if you listened last night to the president, to Don Jr., when they first met Charlie Kirk and he was talking to him about going to the college campuses, they all thought it was a waste of time. And Don Jr. said, wait, they'll grow up and then we'll go after them when they're adults. They'll become conservative then. And Charlie Kirk said no. And he was successful. No one thought it was possible to turn college-age students into Republicans. And not only did he do it, he did it by the millions. And these evildoers with this assassination of Charlie Kirk, like everything else they've done to try to stop the MAGA movement, it's backfired on them, and the MAGA movement is going to be larger and larger than ever, as is Christianity is going to have a complete revival in this country. There's going to be a big revival, and we're going to find in a few years a major baby boom because, remember last night, I can't remember which one of the speakers said this. They were talking about Charlie Kirk. It was it the guy who's not famous that was speaking? He was up there with a bunch of people, including his young wife that he met through Charlie. One of the speakers said last night that Charlie had, it may have been Erika, I can't remember. One of the speakers said that Charlie Kirk was telling young people to get married and have more babies than they could afford. All right? You're going to see a baby boom in this country which we desperately need. The birth rate and the death rate are about the same. Now, if you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I live stream every day. We're going to be on the radio in about 20 minutes or so. This is the pre-show. And if you're watching on the live stream with the green screen behind me, If you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and video I play and see all of that. And the link to my main stream, where the main chat is pinned in the live chat. So you'll see it's also in the description of the video. That's those of you watching on the green screen. So let me go through some of this audio from last night and yesterday, because a lot of things have happened. Let's go to Erika Kirk. I don't know how she had the strength to do this. Wow. Now, when she got to this part, I knew where she was going. I'm tearing up now, guys. Are you? Anybody tearing up? I knew where she was going. And I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I can't believe this. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look at the tears in the audience. That grown men out there in the audience crying like I'm doing now. That's amazing. Kathy Ireland. That's amazing. Wow. I mean, that is just, it's crazy. I mean, you know, and I know everyone says, well, that's the Christian thing to do. Well, a lot of things are the Christian thing to do. But I mean, it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. And, you know, not only did this assassin she forgave assassinate her husband, she's got these little children that are babies that you could only imagine what they're all going through and what these kids are going to be going through in the years to come, on top of the grief, on top of being a mother to the children. And then you know that she's living with just incredible amounts of security. So she's worried about her safety, the safety of her children. Her life has changed in so many ways beyond just losing her husband and the father of her kid. I mean, the kids, things have gone in a real way that most people facing a loss like this wouldn't experience, because of the threat to her and her family in the aftermath of what's happened, because these people are nuts. These people on the left are certifiably insane. I mean, when you have elected members of the United States Congress attacking a man on the day of his memorial, refusing to vote in favor of a resolution that condemns the violence and honors an American who was assassinated like this, You know, where are the left in this country? You know, when the Kennedys were killed, Jackie Kennedy married Onassis, and she was afraid for her children. Remember, there's a famous thing. She says they're killing Kennedy. She had to get out, so she went to Greece for a while. And I imagine that Erika Kirk is dealing with a lot of things like that. Wouldn't you be afraid? I mean, you know, these killers. I mean, there was another shooting over the weekend where the guy went in. Remember, you've seen this, and he said, you know, free Palestine or something. I mean, that's another leftist. This Minneapolis shooting a couple weeks ago, this guy was talking about on Friday, another Democrat was plotting to assassinate the Republican governor of New Hampshire. You know, Democrats, a lot of them are out there trying to kill people that they disagree with. And they tried to stop the Turning Point movement, but it's grown times infinity in 9 or 10 days. She's the leader of it. You know, they're in some, she is going through things that even another grieving widow would not have to deal with. And I was trying to think, you know, like when the Kennedys were killed and such, their wives didn't come out like this. Not giving a speech that fills up an entire football arena with 100,000 people inside, another 100,000 outside watching, 200,000 people watching, just there on site. Yeah, maybe 1 billion worldwide, and she knew it. And to go out there, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Would you? Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. And when she came out at the end with the president, oh my goodness. You know. And last Monday, J.D. Vance filled in for Charlie Kirk. And in the last segment of the show, he said something that was so important. And I saw this theme last night, in particular Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, when he was talking. There's no unity with the left because they want us dead. You know, in the last 4 years, the comeback of Trump in this second and non-consecutive term was shocking to them. Okay, it was incredibly shocking to them. They thought they had taken over the country forever. And they had this auto pen thing going. The presidents, basically, you know, it didn't matter who the presidents were anymore. They had established this auto pen thing. They could do whatever they wanted. And they thought that Republicans, that MAGA was done. These Jasmine Crockett types thought they were going to be running this country for the next 100 years or more. Obama, all of them, they thought this. And the re-election of President Trump, well, that freaked them out. And that's why there's all of these violent events happening by the Democrats, by the left, by the Never-Trumpers. Because you remember what Rush Limbaugh used to talk about. All the left care about is power. And it blew my mind early yesterday when I was watching Jasmine Crockett and others in the media. They just don't understand what they've done when they assassinated Charlie Kirk. They don't understand what's happening, and they never will. They never will. This massive American Christian revival that began with Erika Kirk saying, "I forgive him" last night. Has there been a Christian revival of this level in this country in any of our lifetimes? There's been Christian movements in the country throughout. I mean, the country was founded by Puritans. I mean, the New World was founded by, you know, the colonies. But I don't think there's ever been a Christian revival like this. And, you know, they had been so successful on the left promoting these ideas that are just crazy. I'm not going to go through a list. You know what they are. We talk about them every day and have for years. But what J.D. Vance said when he was filling in for Charlie Kirk last week is the new mandate with the MAGA movement. There's no unity. They're not interested in a middle ground. There's no negotiating with the left. They want us dead. They killed one of our leaders. They tried to kill the founder of this movement, the MAGA movement. Okay? How can you, there's no middle ground with these people. They've given up and have just gone to violence now. And I know CNN I didn't check. Did MSNBC carry the Charlie Kirk memorial? CNN did, but they were bewildered by it. And I think that they believe, the left, okay, it's over now, and that things are gonna fade. These things are not going to fade. What they began, and it certainly wasn't their plan to do this, what they began with the assassination of Charlie Kirk has launched, it's not just an American Christian revival, it's also a wake-up call for millions of Americans who are tired of the Jasmine Crockett's, tired of the AOCs and Bernie Sanders and Jimmy Kimmel's telling us that, you know, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're an Islamophobe, you're a racist, you're this, you're that. This country should be ashamed of itself. This country has a debt to pay. All this. People are tired of that. It's the greatest country in the world. It's a Christian country. And we're back. You know, the Make America Great Again. You know, the Make America Great Again movement. What's it about? Right? Now, what the left would like to tell you is, oh, it's about back to segregation and all that. That's a bunch of nonsense. That's where their mind is. What Make America Great Again is about is what happened last night when Erika Kirk said, I forgive him. In fact, that may be, you know, if you were writing if you're 100 years from now, if you were writing a history book, history of the United States, and you were writing this huge section about the MAGA movement and President Trump, it's very possible that when Erika Kirk said, I forgive him, that may be the moment that made America great again. What do you think about that? Does that make sense to you guys? Our work has just begun because there's so many more people in the movement now, and now we have the mandate to take these weirdos, freaks, bigots, anti-American lunatics, and the whole list of freaks and geeks, and take charge of things. But I think so. That just popped in my mind as I was talking right now. But I think so. I think that this moment right here with Erika Kirk, I forgive him, is the moment that America was made great again. And I know there's a lot of people that are saying, well, that was the Christian thing to do, and I would have done the same thing. I don't know about that. If someone had done that to my wife, I don't know if I could ever have it in me to forgive. Certainly not less than 2 weeks later. Now, we're going to be on the radio in a few minutes. Remember, the pre-show, as well as continuing the show during the commercials on the program, and the expanded 4 hours, the afternoon show, all the new content I've been bringing you is brought to you by Mike Lindell at MyPillow.com. Now, I want to tell you guys that are watching on the feed with the green behind me, if you go to the mainstream, you can see and hear all the audio and video that I play, and get the effects of that. It's also the main chat, and the link to the mainstream is pinned in the live chat. It's also in the description. But all this expanded content I'm bringing you is brought to you by Mike Lindell at MyPillow.com, and you want to make sure that you go to MyPillow.com, use my promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and take advantage of all of the options. In fact, Mike Lindell, I just got this in my inbox today. They made a TV commercial for me to play here on YouTube. So I'm going to play for the first time right now. Pretty cool, huh? Mike Lindell made a TV commercial for me, and they just sent it to me. They sent it to me, I guess, last night because it was in my email box this morning. I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. So let Mike Lindell know that his support of the expanded 4-hour show in the morning, my afternoon show, and everything that he's doing is money well spent. Go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout so that I can continue the expansion of the show. So we're going to be on the radio in a few minutes. Those of you on hold, you hang in there. I do want to hear from all of you today on the program. I want, how you felt, what you saw, what you observed. I've never seen anything like it. The last year, or a little over a year, it's been a lot of rough years, right? With all the lawfare. But since they shot the president in Butler, it's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of emotion because we've seen what it is that they are doing. And the mainstream media have really finally done themselves in. They really have. This endless discussion, the rhetoric on both sides. Where is our side killing people? Where is our side shooting people? Really, where? It's all coming from one side. And what's nuts about it is they feel justified when they do it. And that's the part that just blows my mind. And they're at the point now, they're so out of control, they're not even hiding it anymore. All right, let me see here. We've got a few minutes till we switch over to the radio, so I'll try a couple of calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
I can. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Saidu. I'm calling from Indiana.
Yes.
So about the Charlie Kirk, assassination and whatnot, how do you think that some people on the left who don't agree with it should, go on about their way?
You got to be more specific than that. I mean, aren't we all against murdering people?
So yeah, so I've heard people say, like they're all against murder, like murder, you should not be for it whatsoever. But then there's also some people on the left who are like, oh yeah, life's precious, but Charlie Kirk was hate, this and that. All he spoke was hate, but he never once spoke hate. People
the thing about liberals, if I were a liberal, and somebody, and they don't even want to accept that the shooter's liberal. They don't want to accept that he's gay. I've heard people say, yeah, he's got a boyfriend that's transgender. I've seen this, right? Yeah, he's got a boyfriend that's transgender, but if you can be a straight guy and be with a transgender person and not be gay. I've heard that in the last week. That's crazy talk. He's gay.
Yeah,
the assassin. He's a liberal.
That last night.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I don't know where this stuff comes from. So there's a lot of denial going on the left, and I think a lot of the liberals are in a grief state because their entire movement's over, and there's a lot of grief going on with them.
Well, so they're stuck at a point where they don't know what to do.
Correct. That's exactly right. They don't know what to do. Yeah. Did you watch the memorial yesterday?
I had Zero last week, or this weekend, so I didn't have a chance.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you'll see a lot of highlights. I'm going to play a lot of it today. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right? You take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to be on the air in just a couple of minutes on the radio, so I don't like to take any calls close to the switch over just in case they hit the button early by accident. So when we go live on the radio, I'm going to do an intro and recap a little bit about what we are doing. And by the way, all of you that are new to the program, welcome to the program. I appreciate all the listeners, and those of you that are new, keep watching. You'll learn what I'm all about, what the show's all about. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and I take live calls. Anytime I'm live streaming in a studio, like I am right now, I take live calls. The calls are all screenless, unvetted. When you call in, you just get put on hold, and when I say, what's your name, you're on the air, that's the first time anyone answers the phone. So everyone's welcome to call, regardless of your political background. Okay, I ask that you don't use profanity because we can't use profanity on the radio, but everyone's welcome to call, and all opinions are always welcome here. That's why I take screenless calls. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you're so one-sided. Well, that's what the phones are for, right? If you think I'm too one-sided, it is up to you to pick up the phone and call and give the other side, right? It's not up to me to give the other side. It's up to you. We have equal time here. All opinions are welcome. The number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We're going to be live on the air in about a minute. And if you're watching with the green, less than a minute, 30 seconds. If you're watching with the green screen behind me, go to my main stream and you'll get to see and hear all the audio and video and see the articles and such that I play and go over. There's a link pinned in the live chat, and there's also a direct link to the main stream in the description. So just click that link pinned in the live chat or in the description. It'll take you to the main stream. We have just about 10 seconds, so I'm going to have to do an open. Stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It is Monday, September 22nd, 2025. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Well, I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to be talking about today. It's the events at the Charlie Kirk Memorial yesterday. And if you're on hold, hang in there. And if you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I was talking in the pre-show. You know, I start the show on YouTube about 30 to 45 minutes early every day and then run after 9 o'clock. So the show's 4 hours long now, 3 hours on the radio, and there's an extra hour that's just online. But I was talking in the pre-show about some things. There were about, it's estimated now there were 200,000 people in attendance at the arena. How many people watched around America? I don't know. I haven't seen any estimates on that, but I would say a couple 100 million in America had to have seen at least some of that. And what happened yesterday, and I think this is so obvious that every conservative who's an opinionator like me will make this point today. And I went to bed not long after I did something afterwards last night after the memorial was over, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I imagine people may have even brought this up last night already. But what began at Charlie Kirk's memorial yesterday was the launch of the greatest American Christian revival in the history of the United States. Or is it Christian American revival or American Christian revival? We are at the beginning of the largest Christian revival the United States has ever seen. The millennials, you're gone. You're lost. Go hang out with AOC and Mayor Pete, okay? Sit around and talk about democratic socialism. But Gen Z are going to be the most conservative generation this country may have ever seen. There's going to be a major baby boom among the Gen Zers and a major Christian revival. Yesterday, when I watched every second of that memorial yesterday. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you I was crying more than once. And you were too. Come on. Unless you're some heartless liberal and we're watching. But yesterday, I can't remember exactly at what point during the memorial this was yesterday, but it was before the cabinet started coming out. I do remember that because they took a bit of a break and I did a live stream on YouTube during the break. So it was before that. my daughter called me, and we were going to get together and do some things. And I said, hey, why don't we go to church together on Saturday? And she said, okay. And there's a reason why I'm going on Saturday. I might go before, but there's a particular reason on Saturday, which I'll get into in a little bit. I've not been to church in a long time, years. I've not been to church. I've not been to Mass in years. I'm a very strong Christian. I do pray every day, believe in Jesus. I do pray every day, but I have not been to Mass in years. And not only am I going back to church this week, I am promising myself and dedicating myself to going to Mass at least once a week, if not more than once a week. The reason that when my daughter called, I was just inspired to do this, watching the memorial yesterday. And when I called my daughter, the reason I said Saturday, because you can go to Mass every day. There's Mass every day at the Catholic Church. But I haven't been to Mass in so long. I also haven't been to confession in a long time. And not going to Mass every week is one of the big sins. So before I can receive communion, I have to go to confession. And I haven't been to confession in so long. And so I told my daughter, Saturday, because confessional, the Saturday Mass is late in the day, and there's confessional is open like an hour and a half before Mass at most Catholic churches. And when the when the memorial was over, and I didn't go to bed right away, I was laying in bed because that's late for me. I went on YouTube. It's been so long since I've been to confession, I forgot how to do it. So I was watching a bunch of videos on YouTube on how to do confession right. And I was even watching some videos early this morning before the show because it's been so long. So I may go to Mass this week prior, but I can't take communion until I go to confession. So I'll go to confession on Saturday, then I'll take Holy Communion. So I might wait until Saturday. But I'm going to try to, at least I'm pledging to myself that I'm going to go to church at least once a week, if not more than once a week. And definitely will be going on Saturday, if not beforehand. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think the churches are going to be filled up like Easter all over this country in certain areas. This Christian revival this uniquely American Christian revival that began at that memorial service yesterday is bigger, I think, than people realize. Are any of you thinking of going back to church this week that have been away for a long time like I've been? Yeah. And it's been so long, I checked the local parishes near me, and they all have new priests since last time I went there. It's been so long. So... but I don't think I'm alone in that. I think many millions, maybe tens of millions of Americans are going to go back to church. So I want to play this particular part, and I'll play more of it. And I got a lot of audio, so I'm not going to play. But this is Erika Kirk last night, and what she did was absolutely amazing. Well, I mean, that's amazing. And I'm going to tell you, that, let me look at the time here. You know what? I want if you're on hold, stand by. I want to take a quick break because I don't want to have to stop in the middle of what I'm going to say. But I'll tell you this, it was raining like cats and dogs all weekend, wasn't it? Oh, man. It was raining so hard. It was raining on Saturday. It was so sunny. You know, this is how Florida works. It was really sunny Saturday morning, and I got my MAGA scooter out because I had to go see Dr. Appleton at his office. And I got in my MAGA scooter, and I'm heading to Dr. Appleton's office, and the rain, it started pouring down. And I'm like, well, I was just 5 minutes away from the house. I said, it's just sprinkling. Okay. Then all of a sudden, it was raining in buckets. I looked like I had just gotten out of the shower with my clothes on. And when you're going down the road in the rain, it hurts, okay? Especially I was wearing like short sleeves and everything else. So I came back home and changed and went to see Dr. Appleton. Then it rained again in the afternoon. And then yesterday on Sunday, it was raining all night in the middle of the night. And then it was sunny outside. And then we had a sun shower. It was massive, and thunderstorms all day. And if you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof. And that little wet spot on your ceiling that might be the size of a quarter or maybe even smaller, the leak up in your roof is much bigger. That leak in your roof has a long way to go to get to your ceiling, right? It's got to get through the shingles, the tiles, whatever your roofing material is, that lining. I don't know what they call it. That's Tom Laporta. He knows what they call it. I'm not the roofer. Then it's got to get through the wood, the water. Then it's got to get through the insulation in your attic, and then it gets to the ceiling. So there's a much bigger leak up there and a lot of water up there. You're just seeing this wet spot the size of a coin on your ceiling. Give Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing a call. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He can handle a job of any size, whether it's one home, one office building, one condo or apartment building, or an HOA with over 400 units. He can handle a job of any size. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, laportaroofing.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'll take a call during the break, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey, Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, that was some powerful, beautiful memorial for Charlie Kirk. And I tell you, I'm choked up.
I get teary-eyed every time I see this. I've watched this like 15 times
every time. And what President Trump did with her, she was reaching out for condolences, and he was fighting back from crying. I could tell he was hurting like a dad for her. And the humanity of President Trump shines through. He's a man above men. Yeah. And he loved Charlie Kirk like a son. And I believe that Erika Kirk's speech was one of the greatest, like when Melania was interviewed or was on stage after they tried to kill her husband. Beautiful grace under pressure, a picture of grace, beauty, faith, courage, and strength. These are
when the
beautiful
president,
women.
Well, you're right about the president because he wants to show strength. He's the president. But he was thinking when he was standing up there, this could have been for me if the PowerPoint was on the other side of the stage. Yeah, I know.
It could have been one of his kids, and it really should. But stark
Jeff,
difference.
Don't lose your thought. We're going to be coming back. We're on a break right now on the radio. We're going to come back, so I'm going to go to you when we get back. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Brian. Yeah, if you want to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We got 10 seconds, so I'll come back and I'll stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. I got Jeff from Maine on the line. Jeff, you're a Christian man, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking earlier, and again, I am sure every conservative that's got a microphone is going to say what I'm saying, and maybe some have already said it. That was the beginning of the great American Christian revival last night. In particular,
Amen.
I really started thinking this when the cabinet came up. When have we ever seen the Secretary of State, now our Secretary of War / Defense, right? The Vice President, they're not talking about God in generic ways. A lot of Christians, a lot of Christians talk about God in a generic way, God and the Lord. And there's nothing wrong with saying God or the Lord, but you don't see them talking about Jesus by name like this.
Amen.
And every cabinet official that went up there they were talking like they were in church. And when Erika Kirk came up and says, "I forgive him," that's the beginning of this great American Christian revival that's going to change this country in ways I think we've never seen. What are your thoughts on that?
That is the showing of beautiful grace and mercy shown upon a woman that's hurting so much. She lost her husband and daddy of her kids.
Oh, yeah.
And she is showing such strength and courage. And it is sparking a revival. There's people all over the country, in the world, saying, I haven't touched a Bible since I was a kid. I haven't been in church since I was a kid. And they're reading their Bible and going to church. This is not just across America. This is affecting the world. And it's more powerful, hopefully, than we'll ever see. May it be the turning point of a great revival in America and the world.
That's true. I was talking at the beginning that I'm going back to church this week. I've not been to church in years, and I've never stopped believing. You guys listen, But I regularly went to Mass. I went to church every week, and then during the lockdowns, when they closed down the churches, I stopped going, and I never really have gone back. That
happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's happened to me. I don't think I'm alone in that. And I think millions of people. It broke a habit, like going, and the habit's going to be back because I'm going to try to go at least. I am pledging to myself personally, not you and the audience or anyone. I'm making the pledge to myself to go to church at least once a week. I want to try to go more than once a week, but I'm going to go at least once a week, and it's going to start this week.
Yes, and let us all take the affirming action of reading our Bible and prayer.
Yes.
Because that's more important than going to church. I'm not saying that going to church isn't important, because it's about fellowship and getting teachings of the Lord and through the Word.
Yeah.
But what this is doing, what the Democrats can't do, is unifying we the people, not just conservatives, but people believe that Charlie Kirk was murdered live on television.
Yeah.
And that is wrong, no matter what your political beliefs are.
That's right. And these Democrats, I'm going to play this later. I don't want to play it now, but Jasmine Crockett was on CNN yesterday just saying god-awful things about Charlie Kirk. There's that, she's done us a great favor, because what Jasmine Crockett showed with that appearance on CNN yesterday, I'm going to play it later. Everyone's going to be playing it. What she showed is the Democrats are truly demons. They are demonic. Who would go and talk that? She wasn't talking about Osama bin Laden, but you think she was, the way she was talking, right? A dead American who was brutally murdered, right? And she was talking that way the day of this massive memorial before it happened. That is demonic. And Jasmine Crockett, she's too stupid to realize this, but she's the face of evil and exposed her party as a demonic, sick, twisted political party yesterday.
And we've said that all along, Brian, that we don't need to do anything to expose the Democrats. They're showing themselves what they really are now. Yeah. And more people are going to leave that Democrat Party. And this is going to solidify and endorse MAGA and put America first and we the people. This is all going, the Bible says that what Satan intends for evil, God uses for good.
Yeah.
And look what good is coming out of that. And I'll stand by that, and I'll stand that pray for that beautiful lady and her precious children in Turning Point USA, because this is just the beginning, like she said. You think you stopped Turning Point, you have just reinvigorated, energized it, and over double the schools have asked for Turning Point to come to their schools. This is just starting another. Maybe it's the last revival in the world because
I wonder if you can start. I wonder if Turning Point Faith is something you can start, like a Turning Point Faith group at your churches. I wonder. I'm curious about that.
No, that's a good point.
I don't know anything about the Turning Point Faith. They keep talking about it, but I don't know anything about it.
What's a better place to start it, to get in schools, is by the local church?
Yeah. All right, Jeff. I appreciate the call.
Right.
All right. Take care. You made some good points. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to, before I go back to the phones, I just want to say a couple things here, okay? I was talking on my podcast yesterday that there have been 3 incidents in the country that have been major turning points. The third one is the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but I mean major turning points in our country where everything in the country changed. The first is before we had a United States, right? The Boston Massacre. The Boston Massacre was those murders. That massacre is what led to the American Revolution and gave us this great country. The second major, and that's the first turning point in American history. There's a lot of historical events. I'm not saying these are the only historical events, but I'm saying these moments in time where everything changed. First was the Boston Massacre. If it wasn't for the Boston Massacre, there would not be a United States today, probably. The second one was Rosa Parks with the bus driver when she wouldn't go to the back of the bus. That changed everything. That was the birth of the Civil Rights Movement because it led to the Montgomery bus boycott. Changed everything in this country. And the third is the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I talked about that yesterday morning on my podcast before this revival. And then I realized something this morning as I was talking. This memorial service, in particular, when Erika Kirk said, "I forgive him," which I'm here to tell you that if someone did to my wife what happened with her, I wouldn't be able to do that. Certainly not this soon. It's not even 2 weeks yet. And, but she did it. And she is the real deal. There's so many people out there that I've seen that are Christians that they go up on stages and they're acting. You know? I'm not going to call anybody out by name right now, but I've seen it's not good. That was such the real deal. That's one of the truest Christian women I've ever seen in person. Maybe the. And at that moment, when she said, "I forgive him," I believe 2 things occurred. One, when I've got goosebumps thinking about what I'm about to tell you. That's when and listening to her say that. When Erika Kirk said, "I forgive him," 2 things happened. The first is the beginning of this great American Christian revival. And I know that I'm not the only one who's going back to church this week. And when I tell you this, I really have dedicated myself to this. I mean, you know, and I know a lot of other people have. So the great American Christian revival has just begun with Erika Kirk's forgiveness of this monster assassin. But here's the other thing that's happened, okay? I saw that idiot, Bryan Cranston, you know, Walter White from Breaking Bad. He was on CNN, and he's like, "Make America great again. What? Talk to black people. Do they think, what do they mean, the 50s? No, they don't, stupid." When Erika Kirk said that, and President Trump came out and helped her at the end there, after he spoke, and then she came out, then he helped her backstage. At that very moment, the moment when Erika Kirk spoke, and then the president spoke, and then the two of them were together at the end. That moment in time when the president is holding Erika Kirk, that moment in time is when America was made great again. That is in my opinion, that is the official moment that America was made great again. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, no doubt in my mind, okay? No doubt in my mind. And we'll talk more about this after the break. Those of you on hold, stand by. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I was talking about Tom Laporte at Laporte Roofing with all the rains and the wet spot on your ceiling. Another thing you got to make sure that you have tires that have the proper tread on your car. You're driving around with bald tires in this Florida weather that we're having. You are taking your life in your hands. And before I found Friendly Tire in Margate, I'm here to tell you that I was driving around on tires many times that I shouldn't have been driving around on, right? That didn't have proper tread. And yeah, that's true. No more though. All the tires in my family, we have great tread because you get such great deals. At Friendly Tire in Margate, you can get new tires, brand new, out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And that's not for some oddball sizes. I'm not talking about Fiats that basically have like golf cart tires on them. I'm talking about as low as $75 a tire, out the door and on the road, for tires that fit some of the most common vehicles on the road today. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, I mean that. I'm going to give you the number to Friendly Tire, so grab something to write with real quick. When you call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, the price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire, okay? He has thousands of used tires in stock too, that at even lower prices. Give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. We have listeners that drive over an hour each way because the prices are so good. He'll give you that price over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. All right, let's take some of these calls here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Drop my sex with children. Drop my sex with children.
Okay, all right. There you go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
All right, Maria. What's on your mind?
Oh, boy, that memorial yesterday. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I broke down so many times yesterday. It was like a revival. And all the White House, all the cabinet people that was there.
Yeah.
Susie Walsh. Oh, my God. She was so emotional. But I give it to Charlie Kirk wife. Oh, my God. She is so courageous. I mean, the anointing that God put on her, and I'm a Christian, and I can tell you, that woman got the anointing on her. No one cannot stop what God is doing with her. And for her to say the man that assassinated her husband took her husband away from her, and she said, I forgive him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that broke my heart. And I'm going to give a shout-out to my president, Donald J. Trump. Oh, my God. What a strong man.
Oh, yeah.
He's so strong, but inside I know it was hidden because you could see it on his face. But I couldn't believe what I was seeing because I'd never seen anyone just hold themselves together and fight for what she have left and to keep everything going. But she has anointing on her. It's nobody can tell me anything different. And I just want to say the people that was there, all the youth that was there, the mothers and fathers that was there, I can tell you right now, you have woken a sleeping giant. We are not going to be quiet. We are not going to be quiet. So I just, ask y'all to keep her in prayer.
Absolutely.
Keep Kirk family in prayer.
Yeah.
And y'all be good.
All right. Take care. Thank you for the call, Maria. I do appreciate that. All right. Let's take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Derek.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn down the volume in the background. Yeah. Turn down the volume in the
How's it
background.
going, man?
It's
I had a first-time caller. Sorry.
here we go.
I'm just kind of worried about our religion, so to speak, like how we, like how it will affect us, like being religious or having our own religion. But
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not sure you do either. All right. Thank you for your call. He hung up. I guess he lost his train of thought. Well, that's what happens when you're got the bong in one hand and the phone in the other. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to be back in seconds. Okay. Then we're going to jump back into this. Welcome, everyone. Oh, boy. If you're on hold, stand by. All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. And, of course, we're talking about what this amazing American Christian revival that began last night. And I want to play this. Jasmine Crockett, who's just a real twisted person. She went on, this was before the memorial service yesterday, she went on CNN. What harm? I mean, this is nuts. Charlie Kirk's the one who was harmed. He was shot dead by a liberal assassin. How many times did she say I or me in that? Yeah, textbook narcissism. But as I was telling Jeff from Maine in the last segment, Jasmine Crockett did us a great service because those statements that she made yesterday, which are so sick and twisted, I am in shock at the disrespect at a man who's being honored, an American who was murdered like that. And do you guys remember when Obama took out Osama bin Laden? Do you remember when we found out about it? Do you know, you may have forgotten, and when I tell you, you'll remember, but some of you that are younger probably have no recollection of this. Though Osama bin Laden was as evil gets, we were not told about the operation and that bin Laden was dead until not only the operation was over, of course, but when they killed bin Laden, SEAL Team 6 brought him back to an aircraft carrier where there was an imam waiting. And they had a proper, respectful Islamic funeral, Muslim funeral, whatever that is, for Osama bin Laden, followed by a burial at sea. And then they told the world about it because they thought it would be disrespectful, and because he had just passed, he was dead. And the Obama administration went to great lengths to honor bin Laden before they even told the world, with a proper funeral, a proper Islamic funeral, and all this stuff. And here we've got an American who never harmed a single soul. And they do nothing but spit on his grave time and time again. And what she said at the end, Jasmine Crockett, he noticed no acknowledgement that he was harmed when he was shot dead by this liberal assassin, Charlie Kirk. This is nuts to me. And, this is what I was telling you. The left have no idea what has happened here. This great American Christian revival that began yesterday. And I'm still declaring that moment, the moment America was made great again. Because America today, it's 6:37 a.m. here on the East Coast. This is a different country than it was at 6:37 a.m. Eastern time yesterday. We're in a new place now in this country. And last week, when J.D. Vance said there is no unity with these people, that's what he's meant. That's what he was talking about. It's going to lead, quite possibly, the president was talking about this, to the first president in his second term in the midterms gaining seats in both houses, or at least in the modern era. It's just assumed you're going to lose seats. Not this time. Because the country is different today than it was 24 hours ago. And Jasmine Crockett helped us get here. She helped make America great again through her hate, her bigotry, her narcissism, because she showed how evil the Democrats are. There is no unity with the Democrats. There's no bipartisan reaching across the aisle to Chuck Schumer. Oh, please like us. They're killing our people. Our two top leaders, both of them were shot. One of them was assassinated when he was shot. Our two top leaders in our movement. How can you have bipartisan support when this happens? They don't even come together. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James, Texas.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Before you say what you're going to say, I mean, just think about it for a second before you say what you're going to say. Because I'm hearing a tone in your voice. But go ahead. You're calling from Texas. What's on your mind?
Okay. So I'm a Christian, and it feels like we're being persecuted for not siding with Israel.
What? You're a Christian who's what with Israel? I missed what you said.
No. I'm Christian, but I don't support Israel. But why are we being persecuted for not trusting Israel?
You're being persecuted? Who's persecuting you?
No. Like, as in, like, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was, like, basically he was killed because he didn't want to side with Israel.
That's not true. That's not true. He was killed by a liberal gay man who's was in a relationship with a transgendered male. He wasn't killed by. Right, he wasn't killed by a Jew. He wasn't killed by Israel. He wasn't killed for anything other than he expressed opinions that he did not approve of the transgender lifestyle.
Which nobody should. Which I agree with that. Nobody should. Nobody. So
where'd you get this? Where'd you get this Israel crap from that you spit out? That's not true.
Yeah, I just do a lot of looking and a lot of like research.
Yeah, where are you looking? Where are you looking and found that?
I mean, it's just also like
why would Israel kill him? He was a supporter of Israel. Why would Israel have killed him?
But when he started figuring out what Israel is actually doing.
What do you mean figuring out? What did he figure out?
He turned his back on Israel.
He didn't turn his back on Israel. He didn't. Either you're making things up or you're listening to anti-Semitic people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. What did Charlie Kirk? What?
I don't like Zionism either.
Zionism?
I don't support Zionism. Right.
You don't like Jews?
Okay. Yeah.
Why don't you like Jews?
It's just, I mean, imagine getting kicked out of. They got kicked out of 120 countries.
Who?
Could you tell me?
Who got kicked out of 120
I mean,
countries?
you wouldn't like them either, right?
Who got kicked out of 120 countries?
The Jewish people got kicked out of 120 countries.
Uh-huh. Yeah, by I didn't know if it was that many, but okay. So what does that mean?
Yeah,
Means they're an oppressed people?
for what? For like coin clipping? Look at
No, what I'm trying to
Germany.
figure out is, why do you dislike Jews? Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. You are a Christian. You accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. You understand that Jesus is a Jew, right?
They said he was.
They said he was? Who said?
say he was a
the Bible.
Right, but why does that make them God's chosen people?
God gave the Jews the land of Israel, and Judaism gave us Christianity. You told me you believe in Jesus. You accept Jesus as your Savior. There's no debate that Jesus is. Notice I say is, not was. That Jesus is a Jew. So how do you, as a Christian who accepts Jesus as your Lord and Savior, there's a bit of a conflict there. You hate Jews, but you say you're a Christian who supports and believes in Jesus.
I just don't support all the.
You know what I think you don't support? You know what you don't support? Thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're just a bigot. You just don't like Jews. You're a bigot. And I'm telling you something. You can't hate Jews and love Jesus. Jesus is a Jew. All right, take care. Thanks for your call. My goodness. Phew. If you're on hold, stand by. Do you suffer from neuropathy? If you do, listen up. Oh boy, if you have the numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in your hands and feet, the muscle weakness, the dizziness, falling down all the time, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet, no feeling at all. If you have those symptoms, you very well may have neuropathy. I want to talk about Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. You know, if you have any of those symptoms, give them a call. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show and find out if you have neuropathy. They're not just for people that know they have neuropathy, and they have a treatment for neuropathy, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But if you have any of those symptoms I listed, you may have neuropathy and not even know it. Let Lighthouse Medical let you know. Lighthouse Medical has a treatment for neuropathy that works and that lasts. And we know this because of Steve Kane. Steve Kane had neuropathy so bad he was bedridden. And Lighthouse Medical, over 3 years ago, treated him and rid him of all of his neuropathy symptoms. And here we are over 3 years later, and they have not returned. It's absolutely amazing. They can help you no matter where you're located. If you're local, that's great. You can go in person. But if you're out of town or out of state or anywhere in the world, they can help you over the phone, Zoom, whatever you want to do. No matter where you are, they can help you with your neuropathy or a loved one. Give them a call. Again, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee. What's up?
Yeah, well, I just want to correct you on some information. These Zionists that are claiming the land of Israel are not Jews. Mm-hmm. They are Khazarian converts who converted to an ethnicity. You can't convert to an ethnicity.
All right, whatever.
You can convert to a religion. You can convert to an ethnicity.
You're just trying to find some way to justify your hatred. That's,
you can't talk for me. I can speak for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? So people who call themselves Zionists are Europeans who converted to an ethnicity.
Why are you so angry all the time? Why are you always pissed off? You must have a headache.
Because you lie all the time, and you're a racist, and I don't like racists.
Well, you're a loyal watcher of mine. If you hate me so much, why do you watch me?
Because I like calling out
Because you
racists.
like the show. Okay, you like the show.
I like
No, but you're always so angry. It must be very frustrating. It must be very frustrating for you.
And I hate racists, and I like calling them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you ever call yourself
That's
out? Do you ever call yourself out because you're obviously a racist?
No, I'm calling you out.
Really? Tell me the goodness of white people. Tell me some things you like about white people.
Why would I do that?
Because you can't. So you hate white people. That's racism.
No, okay, here's something.
Oh, no. Okay, now he's going to force something out.
Millions of dollars in reparations.
What?
How's that?
Excuse me, I missed that.
Listen for a second and shut up.
Here we go.
You owe us trillions of dollars in reparations. How's that?
Really? So
Try that on.
So the African tribes that captured and sold other tribesmen to the slave traders, do they have to pay some of those trillions?
You didn't do anything. You people didn't do anything. You just happened to find us there, right?
No one in my there are no slave owners in my family history. None. Zero.
All of you are slave owners. All of you.
Okay.
This land was taken from the Native Americans, and we came and made you people rich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
You owe us trillions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was
And
waiting.
48
You said you're not. You said you're not. Well, I'll agree with the jackass. You're not. You don't have a shortage of jackasses. You're one. You know, Jasmine Crockett's another. You know, so the jackass thing. Yeah.
If you want to give us back our mottos, give us back the elephant, because the elephant was Hannibal's animal, and that was his cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannibal was who was whipping your butt when he went into Rome.
So I missed. Okay, now listen, we're getting ready to come back from break. Do you want to hold on after the break, or do you want to go?
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in about 20 seconds. So just stand by, and I'll when I come back, I'll go to you. Okay.
All right.
Wow, he calmed down for a second. Let's see. 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Renee from Harlem's on the line. And so what are your thoughts on the Charlie Kirk Memorial yesterday?
He's an idiot. You're trying to make this guy a martyr and a god. You want to pray to this man, and he's a racist. That's why you like him.
Sadly, he's gone. So he's not.
I'm not sad.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad he's gone.
Renee, let me ask you a question. I don't know if I've ever determined this over your calls. Are you a Christian, or what's your religion?
I am more Christian than you would ever be.
So you're a Christian.
Jesus,
Okay.
Jesus was a black man.
Okay, Jesus was a black man.
Jesus was a black man. Moses was a black man.
I know everybody was black.
Israel.
Everybody's black.
Black.
Yes, everybody's black. I get it.
Black.
Okay.
All of them.
Well,
not some.
Well, but isn't it to celebrate the assassination of a man? That seems to be in conflict with Christianity. I don't understand.
Celebrating? I'm not celebrating. I'm just glad it happened.
Well, how can you be glad that something like that happened?
Well, he's a racist.
Really? Who was a Charlie Kirk? What did he do that was racist? What did he do that was racist?
He was celebrating Martin Luther King's death.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even alive then. He wasn't even born until 1993.
Okay, so what am I supposed to be sorry for him?
What you've just done is you have these random things that you throw out about white people. Yeah, and that's like one of your talking points.
Random.
How could he have No, he didn't celebrate Martin Luther King's death. He wasn't born years later.
He thought the civil rights movement was a mistake.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
You liberals.
Man, you're stupid.
Really?
You really don't know what you're talking about. You just make it up.
I'll tell you what. When I end the call, you go and find the audio of Charlie Kirk saying that the civil rights movement was a mistake, and I'll play it over the air.
No, you find out for yourself.
No, you're making I'm going to do your research for your. You said that he, and I've heard other liberals say that Charlie Kirk said that the civil rights movement was a mistake. Get that audio. Call me back. I'll play it over the air.
I've heard the audio, stupid.
Well, then you should easily be able to find it, so we can play it over the air.
Oh my goodness! Look, I'm not doing your job. All right, you find it, you play it.
You said something that's terrible. Certainly, you must have access to this audio.
I said it's true, and I don't have a radio station to put things on the air. You do.
You have a computer.
So
you have a phone.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll search on. Okay, So you're telling me you don't know where to find it. You haven't seen it or heard it. You've heard other people say it, and you're just a parrot, a dumb parrot who's regurgitating, mimicking sounds that you heard other people say.
Oh my goodness! Aren't you convenient, man? You are a typical bigot. You know that? Lion Brian, the bigot midget.
Mm-hmm.
That's your name.
Okay.
That's your name.
Yeah.
Lion Brian, bigot midget.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've let you go on for a while.
You did?
Yeah. I was talking to you during the break. I've held you over. We've been talking for like 10 minutes, right? Why do you think I've kept you on so long, rambling your hate?
My hate?
Yeah.
Look who's talking.
Yeah.
Look who's talking.
You're right. Why do you think I've done it? Why do you think I've kept you on so long?
Well, because your audience is a bunch of haters also. So they love to hate black people.
No, what the reason I've kept you on is pretty simple. To illustrate to people what the other side are all about. You're like Jasmine Crockett. It's what JD Vance said last Monday when he was hosting the Charlie Kirk show on Monday. There's no unity with the left. This is the left. Renee from Harlem. We're supposed to reach across the aisle, and they want us dead. Listen to him. They want us all gone. Sure, you picked up you're reaching out to me. You called me. I didn't call you. You called me. You reached out to me. When you call the number, you're reaching out to me.
If I reached out to you, boy, I'd break your neck.
See, now he's threatening me. Now he's threatening me. Why are you threatening me? Why would you threaten me? Why would you?
I'm not threatening you.
Wow.
I'm not threatening you.
You said you'd break my neck. You said you'd break my neck. Why would you say something like that? If I was reaching out to you,
you wouldn't have a neck.
I wouldn't have a neck. Okay. All right. Take care. Oh, my goodness. You know, I have, this is, that's the longest I've ever talked to him. It's the longest I've ever talked to him. And there's this phrase that's been going around that I think is inaccurate. And I'm going to update it. There's been this thing called black fatigue. Somebody just mentioned it in the chat room. You heard about this? The country doesn't have black fatigue. That's how they want to characterize it on the left. We have liberal fatigue. We have Democrat fatigue in this country. People in this country are sick and tired of what they've been doing on the left. People like that and Jasmine Crockett and AOC are the ones that have been running this country. This isn't new, and it wasn't just the last 4 years, and it peaked, it really got a boost of energy with Obama's 8 years. But people in this country are sick and they are tired of being told that they're all these terrible things. And with everything that's happened, you've heard me talk to several Democrats since the program began. They're all whacked out. They're consumed with hate. The hatred of Jews, the hatred of Whitey, the hatred of America. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. I would like to thank you very much for the morning entertainment. These people don't understand how stupid they sound. They are. They talk in circles, and I just love listening to you tear them down.
Well, they do.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the call. Yeah, you know, how is there unity with these people talking this way? There's no common ground. There's no common ground. And you know, when people call me, they're on their best behavior because they're in the public. Imagine what they say when they're not in public with people listening. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, I went to see Dr. Appleton on Saturday, and I was talking to him about the laser treatment and about my knee pain. He's like, I've heard you talking about your knee. You know, you had 30 years of suffering and knee pain, and after a couple of treatments with the laser, it's gone. And he was explaining to me why that is. And Dr. Appleton, it's not just a laser, it's a robotic laser. And he was explaining to me that this goes with every treatment of every part of the body, but you know, we were just talking about my knee. And he says, because the robotic laser, the laser moves and it got every part of your knee, the top, the sides, underneath, from behind. And his laser goes deep in. It's completely painless. You don't even feel it when it's happening, but it goes deep inside. And because it's robotic, it moves and covers the entire area all the way around. And that's why it not only rid me of pain, but it hasn't returned after over 3 years. It's amazing. You know, living a pain-free life, he's rid me of pain 7 times. Living a pain-free life is amazing. We have listeners that have come from all over the United States. You know, he told me on Friday, we had a couple people came in, a couple from North Carolina to get the laser treatment with Dr. Appleton. And he told me something that, that I leave out of his messages. Do you know that Dr. Appleton offers free consultations? Free consultations. What do you got to lose? Just your pain. So if you're in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of the free consultation. Talk to him about the laser away pain treatment, and then decide. I'll tell you this. He's rid me of pain 7 times. Not only did it work after a couple of treatments, the pains have not returned. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Give them a call. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. Take advantage of that free consultation. 954-973-0710 and online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back after our top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere. Oh, boy. I tell you. I mean, Renee from Harlem is pretty bad. Now, those of you watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, okay, you can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. And the link to the main stream and main chat is pinned in the live chat. There's also a link in the description. Now, I've been telling you guys that Mike Lindell at My Pillow is sponsoring the expansion of the show. The extra hour, continuing the show during the commercials, my afternoon show, my weekend shows, all sponsored by Mike Lindell of My Pillow. And I've been telling you, go and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and let him know that his support is money well spent. And this morning, he just sent me a TV commercial that he made for me. So I'm pretty excited. Here it is. Pretty cool, huh? That's the same kind of commercial you see on television for Mike Lindell, and they made one for me. I appreciate that. So I told you, he's very serious about the expansion of the show, so let him know that his support is well worth it, okay? He's a good guy, and I appreciate his support and you using my promo code Kane. That number you can use, too, to call. Okay, so if you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. The number to call in is 888-465-2631. It's toll-free no matter where you're listening. 888-465-2631. That's 888-465-2631. You're all welcome to call in. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to be back in less than a minute, and I'm going to go back to the phones when we get back, guys. Okay? And again, if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, go to my main live stream where the main chat is. You can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. The link is pinned in the live chat. It's also in the description of the video. All right, we'll be back in 30 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phones when we get back. We've heard from several liberals today. They're all deranged. All right, stand by. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Just to recap where we began, and then I'm going to go to the phones. Of course, we're talking about this memorial service yesterday. And we've heard from several liberals today, all of them deranged at a different level and at a different stage of anger. I mean, they're just insane. And I've been talking this morning that when Erika Kirk said, "I forgive him," is there anybody out there that did not tear up when you heard her say, "I forgive him"? How could you not? But when she said that, I believe that's the beginning of a great American Christian revival and some other things we've been talking about. So I'm going to go back to the phones, and I'll do a bigger recap as the show goes on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's JP in Texas.
All right. What's up, Texas?
Hey, Brian.
What's on your mind?
I wanted to correct Renee, and I wanted to give props to President Trump on something. Renee, Charlie Kirk wasn't saying that civil rights movement was wrong. He was saying and incentivizing black women to get rid of the father through the social welfare was wrong. And the number two things I have to say
You're
is
exactly
that
right. I'll talk about.
I have never been prouder of our country and President Trump when he called Erika back out on the stage to embrace her and comfort her for the entire nation.
That was amazing, wasn't it? You know, the first part of what you said is absolutely correct. Before the civil rights, when the civil rights movement happened and social welfare began with Lyndon Johnson, to qualify for the government benefits, there couldn't be a man in the house, okay? And Steve Kane was a social worker in Los Angeles in the 60s, and they had this phrase.
They constantly misrepresent him on that.
Nonstop. And they had a saying back then, that when the social worker knocks at the front door, the man runs out the back, right? Because if there's a man there, there's no bed. Well, what's happened over the decades, they've done away with the man now, right? They don't get married anymore. There's no man.
They married the government.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
government forced them to marry the government.
Yeah, so Charlie Kirk has said what many people have said, that the civil rights movement destroyed, that the social, he didn't say the civil rights movement.
That's not hate, that's love. He's telling them the truth.
The Great Society of the Democrats, the welfare system, destroyed the black family, and it was a disaster. In fact, many people believe that Lyndon Johnson is the most destructive president in history because before that, the black family was intact. One of the reasons that you have so much crime in these blue cities that have a high minority population is because of that, right? And what that's led to, there's no man in the family, there's no father anymore in these families. And that was done by the social welfare of the Great Society. That's exactly what Charlie Kirk was talking about. That's why I asked him to pull up the audio. And all of a sudden, he like, well, you know, I don't know. He wouldn't do it. Yeah. All right. I appreciate the call. You made some good points.
Thanks, Brian.
All right. I talk to so many lunatics. When I get a sane person on the line, I really sometimes have difficulty conversing with a normal person. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Ben from Pompano. How you doing, Brian?
All right, Ben. What's up?
Hey, so when I hear people like Renee freak out, and I've just been noticing the freak out level of Dems lately has been off the charts because they know they're losing, and it's so incredible to hear because I just a smile goes across my face when they're losing their mind because it's the same thing that happened when they tried to assassinate Trump at Butler and they failed, and they knew they just stepped in it because now people are more emboldened than ever. And they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing the end of their regime happen in real time. And that's why they have this underlying anxiety that caused it. I heard Blue Sky was an absolute cesspool after that memorial. They were so seething with rage and frothing at the mouth. It's a beautiful thing when people like Renee, because he wants us to go down to his level.
Yeah.
It angers him when he sees Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, forgive the killer. No matter how much they try to kill us, we will never beat them, and we still beat them by playing by our rules. We still believe in freedom and love, and they're still losing. And guess what? They're just exposing themselves more and more and more to normies, and that's why it's such a beautiful thing. Destiny, that little freak, that Twitch streamer I'm sure you're aware of, I mean, he's gone off the deep end, and it's just amazing because
Ben, what I think is happening, okay, with Jasmine Crockett, Renee, all these lunatics. I think their demonic rage. I think it's one of the stages of grief, the anger phase. I think that they're finally realized that the Democrat Party is done. And what I began the show at 6 about was this. Okay, two things happened at this when Erika Kirk said, "I forgive him," which I am here to tell you, I would not be able to do that if that were my spouse. If that were my wife, that happened to.
No one would.
Not even. I mean, she's a true Christian woman. Two things happened. One, I believe it was the beginning of a great American Christian revival. That churches are going to be packed. People, that's one thing that began. This Generation Z is going to be the most conservative Christian generation we may have ever had in this country. And the second thing is, we saw the entire cabinet praising Jesus yesterday when they were speaking. I've never seen anything like that. All the secretaries up there talking about Jesus. That's never happened.
Yeah, and you have normies looking at one side, which is preaching love and forgiveness, but justice and still staying the course. While the other side burned things down, upset, apoplectic with rage, reveling in the death of a beautiful man and his beautiful family, mocking. It's like the difference couldn't be more clear to the non-political people.
Well, yeah.
And so who are they going to choose? And I'm not even I'm not even a very religious person. I'm not a religious person. I grew up in a secular household with different religions, and I'm now turning to exploring what faith, what denomination of Christianity I think would best fit me, and I'm
awesome.
Like going in that direction. I know. I'm going in that direction. I'm excited about it, and it's great. See
what I mean? That's what I mean about this American Christian revival that's going on.
Yeah, and guess what? Guess what happens when you have Christianity as the predominant religion? Communism cannot survive.
That's
correct. That's what communism. Christianity is the only thing that can overcome communism, and that's why they're so upset. So I couldn't be. The more they rage, the happier I am, because as they said, live your life in such a way that when you die, your enemies are celebrating, and that's exactly what Charlie did, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that, man.
That's right. All right, take care. Wow, Ben from Pompano, going to church, secular man going to church. See, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man?
I don't know. Hold on a second.
I'm calling from North Carolina.
Yeah, go ahead, North Carolina. Hold on. Let me answer all these lines that are coming in. All right, what's on your mind, North Carolina?
I heard you say before that there's no unity on the left.
Well, there's no. there's unity among the left in your hatred and anger and bigotry and such. There's no unity between us and the left.
What do you mean? Hold on. Why'd you say your?
Oh, you're MAGA? I apologize if you're
No.
MAGA.
It doesn't. Does it matter?
Yeah, it does matter. So I was right. You're a liberal.
No.
What are you then? You Republican?
MAGA.
MAGA? I asked you if you're MAGA. You said no. Now you're MAGA? Which is it? I just asked you if you're MAGA.
No,
You said no.
I said, does it matter? I said,
Yes.
does it? You said you
I asked you if you're MAGA, and you said no. You said no when I asked. Now you're MAGA. Which is it?
Okay, you're right. I lied.
See, boom. So,
Okay.
I say, am I good or what? I knew.
Yeah,
by the
you're
first.
the best.
Why are you lying? Why would you lie about that? I know why.
Because I wanted to be treated fairly.
No,
That's
the
why.
reason you lied, okay, and by, kudos for me for calling you out and picking you out. The reason you lied is because as a liberal, you know that you have no credibility in public, and you want to try to pass yourself off as a MAGA person, so you'll have some credibility.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, really.
It's not that you're in total control of the conversation, and I just wanted to be treated fairly. That couldn't be.
What do you mean I'm in control? You're speaking.
Right, but I'm asking, is it possible that I just wanted to be treated fairly?
No.
Is it possible that that's why I lied?
No, you lied
Why not?
because you're a liberal. So what'd you call in about?
I was asking you about you saying there's no unity on the left.
Well, your side is killing our people. Our two top leaders in the MAGA movement were shot by you guys. One of them was assassinated. So how can we have unity when you're shooting our people?
You say you guys when it's not. I didn't do anything.
Your movement
Who's
did.
you guys?
Your movement did.
What do you mean my movement
The
did?
left, the Democrats.
That guy has nothing to do
Never-Trumpers.
with me.
Mm-hmm. But what's happened since since the assassination of Charlie Kirk is all the Democrats
controlling the conversation again. Go
well,
ahead,
yeah, I'm the host of the show. Absolutely, that's what a host does.
It's
called hosting the show.
50% of us.
It's called hosting the show.
Drive the stake between us.
Okay.
Go ahead with the separation. Go ahead, keep going.
Since this Democrat assassinated Charlie Kirk, what we've heard from all the Democrat leaders is this.
How do you know he's a Democrat?
Because he's a gay guy who's in a relationship with a transgendered male, and he shot the number, and he shot the number, and he shot the number two, and he shot the number two guy in the MAGA movement.
Said that all gay people are Democrats.
I didn't say all gay people are Democrats. The Treasury Secretary.
Not a dog whistle to your audience.
The Secretary of Treasury is gay.
Audience. That's not a dog whistle to your audience to let them know to hate the caller?
The Treasury Secretary of President Trump's is a gay man.
What's that got to do with
We're not
anything?
anti-gay. You said, how do you know he's a Democrat? He's a gay man who's his boyfriend is transgender, and he shot the number two guy in the conservative movement dead, Charlie Kirk. Number one guy's Trump.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Your
so
movement
why are you blaming it on me?
I didn't blame you.
Yes, you did. You said my side did it.
This is such
I'm
a typical.
Part of my side.
This is so typical of a leftist. They're all narcissists. They think everything's about them.
It's us that are narcissists. Your leader's the narcissist, and it's us that we're not. We want to help poor people. We want to help poor white people, poor black people, poor Spanish people, poor gay people, even poor MAGA. We want to help everyone, and you don't. That's the bottom line. And then you sit here and use the hate.
So why did Charlie Kirk get shot dead? Why was Charlie Kirk? Why was Charlie Kirk and Trump both shot, and why was Charlie Kirk assassinated? If your side's all about love, you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another question. We'll take it. Okay.
Shoot. Go ahead.
Now think about this. This is a good question. If it's
relevant, I'll answer.
Oh, he's already nervous. So you're going to determine that my question's not relevant.
Not nervous at all.
Sure. You just set up and out.
Changing the subject. Go ahead. Shoot with your question.
If you went into your,
you're welcome for the hate going on in the chat.
For me to ask the question, you have to stop talking and listen to the question. Okay.
Okay.
If you were to go into a local high school and have the American history book opened in front of you, okay, Which assassin in American history was a Republican?
Which assassin was a Republican? Which person who committed the assassination was a Republican?
If you went to high school and you had an American history book, like an 11th grade, a high school, you got an American history book. It's a high school history book.
Right.
Okay, so it has to be an assassination that would be in that history book. Which assassination was done by a Republican?
I'm unaware. Why don't you tell me? Because I haven't been to high school in a long time. Go ahead, shoot.
No, you know the answer. You just don't want to say it. None of them.
No, I don't.
The answer is zero.
Dude.
The answer is zero. All the assassins have been leftist.
Okay.
So what does that tell you about the liberal movement? If all the assassins are liberal, what does that tell you about the liberal movement?
So John Wilkes Booth was a liberal?
He was a Democrat.
Right, which is today's what? Democrats?
Yes, he was a Democrat. John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat.
And Abraham Lincoln was?
A Republican. Are you really this stupid? All right,
no,
thank you for your call. I mean, I can only expose somebody so many times before I almost start to feel bad about it. I'll tell you though, one thing I'm proud about is how I look with all this weight I've lost from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, it's amazing to me, when you're in the line of work I'm in, you don't get a lot of compliments from the audience. People are always on you about everything, you know, except my weight loss. People in this audience have been telling me how great I look and have been watching my incredible weight loss. You know, my results with Coastal Weight Loss Secret are typical. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. Remember, I lost about 1 pound a day without any exercise, without starving myself, eating foods I would normally eat, no shots or injections, which I understand those shots and injections, you have to do that for like ever, and without any medications. That's right. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. It's a no-charge consultation, and they can help you no matter where you're located. If you're in South Florida, of course, you can go in person, but no matter where you're located, you can handle everything over the phone, maybe a Zoom call if you want, but you can do it over the phone as well. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. Oh my goodness. How would you guys describe that caller? There's one opening on the board. Let me just play a little bit here of Erika Kirk. This is just amazing. Oh, and I want to tell you, if you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and video I play. The link to the main stream is pinned in the live chat. Just click that link. It's also in the description. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and every single leftist that's called today has been consumed with rage, haven't they? Have we heard any love from the left? There's one opening on the board. We're going to be back in a minute, so I'm going to wait till we get back to take calls. Do you guys mind from the break? Let's see here. Yeah, we'll be back in less than a minute. So, and I'll go to the phones when we get back for sure. Just texting with a friend of mine here. A friend of mine was texting me about the last caller. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back to our phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? This is Joe again. Could you not hang up on me?
No, I'm going to hang. It's one call per day, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I bet. See, as soon as you get a halfway intelligent person on the phone, you hang up on them.
What part?
Right?
What part
That's
of what part of what you said was intelligent? I missed that part.
I was asking you, you said that John Wilkes Booth was a Democrat.
Indeed.
And I was trying to ask you, the Democrats of the early 1800s.
Yes.
The Democrats from the early 1800s were the Republicans of today, aren't they?
No. In fact, the Civil War was not even in the early 1800s. So what did you called back to show?
Oh, really? It was okay, well, a Democrat from the South shot Abraham Lincoln. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and would you call the South mainly liberal now?
Abraham Lincoln
no?
was Abraham Lincoln was shot like 160 years ago.
No. You brought this. You took this horse out of the barn, not me.
Let me tell you. I'm going to give you.
Let's ride it.
Listen.
Let's ride it.
Hold on a second. I have a full board of calls.
No. Hold
on. I am going to ride this a little longer, and I'm going to give you some advice, okay?
As you do your president's dick.
And this is, okay, first dump of the day, Mike. First dump of the day. If you're on hold, stand by. We got to wait for the delay to rebuild. He accused me of performing an act on the president in a way that you cannot say. But I'll tell you the advice I was going to give that guy. If you guys watch on YouTube, you get to hear this stuff. We don't have to dump it there. What I was going to tell him was this. Something I learned long ago, okay, about public speaking doing a show. When you look stupid and you feel humiliated, forget about it. Move on. People will forget about it the next day. Okay? If you harp on it, you're just going to make it worse, as he was doing. And I got to tell you, every line on our board is lit. I took that call at random. It was him again. I didn't know it was him. But I'm glad it was him because he really got to show himself for what he is. All right. You know what? I'm not going to give out the number because every line is lit. So you guys seem to know the number. But I do want to hear your thoughts, regardless of where you're coming from, on the memorial yesterday. All right, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break on time. All right, because I went long in the last segment. I want to take the bottom of the hour break on time so we won't have a train wreck, traffic jam of breaks moving forward in the show because we're at the halfway point now. So let's take this break on time. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to take some calls, though, during the break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name?
My name's doesn't matter what my name is, and it doesn't matter where I'm from. It doesn't matter what political party I support, because I'm not here to have a political discussion. I'm here to have a theological one.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's go.
I'm curious what your answer to this question. Where is the kingdom of heaven?
The kingdom of heaven? This is not what I'm talking about. I mean,
where is it?
Well, I'll find out. Hopefully,
because you claim to be a true Christian.
Hopefully, we'll find out.
So you should know the answer to this question. MAGA claims to be Christian, so they should know the answer to this question. Where is the kingdom of heaven?
Hopefully, one day I'll find out when I'm there, and then I'll let you know.
No,
Thank you for the call. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? More anger from the left. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Stephen from Florida.
Yes, Stephen.
Yeah, I was on the live stream with the green screen in the background.
Yep.
And I saw the question was, did Charlie and Erika Kirk start a revival? Are you talking about a spiritual revival?
A Christian revival. There is a Christian revival began spontaneously last night when Erika Kirk said, "I forgive the man who assassinated my husband." Yes. It was the beginning of a Christian revival.
So now I remember a few years ago there was a revival at I believe it was Asbury University or whatever.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Tucker Carlson. Oh, never mind then. Well, did Erika and Charlie Kirk start a revival, or does God start a revival? And what is a biblical revival?
Everything. Listen, what I'm telling you is that I realized this last night. I haven't gone to church in years. Okay. Yeah. And I called my daughter's grown woman, and I called my daughter up yesterday, and I said, "Hey, why don't we go to church together this week?" And my family, we're going to, not only are we going back to church, I am promising myself to go to Mass at least once a week, and I'm hopefully going to be able to go more than once a week. And I think millions of Americans feel like I do. See, the turning point movement of Charlie Kirk's, I didn't realize this until after he was assassinated by this liberal. I thought it was just a political movement. I didn't realize it was also a Christian movement. And America, tens of millions of Americans watched that event last night, and I believe many millions were moved like I was to get back in church. And it's not a generic revival. There is a very specific American Christian revival began spontaneously last night with Erika Kirk's forgiveness of her husband's assassin. That's what I'm telling you. And there's never been anything like this in this country before.
So a mass amount of people in this country rediscovering the Word of God and coming to repentance and starting to live righteously.
Well, that's the hope.
I would say that then I would, as time moves forward, based off biblical examples of a revival, if you're interested, look into Jonah and the Ninevites.
No, I'm not interested. All right, appreciate the call. I'm not interested in, we're not doing a theological program here. This isn't a college lecture. We're talking about America today and the news that's out there. All right, we're going to be back from the break in just a short amount of time. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go back to the phones after the break, okay? We'll be back in about 10 seconds. All right, welcome back, and the delay has been re-engaged. Oh boy, all right. There is one opening on our board at 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Brian. This is Marcus from Connecticut.
Hey, Marcus, can you turn down the volume of whatever turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to me on in the back, please? Because there's a delay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My
that's
apologies.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got to answer some lines anyway while you're doing that. Okay. All right. Yes, go ahead. Connecticut.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Marcus in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm a longtime member and a viewer of yours.
Great.
And I just want to commend you for having these liberals on your show, because you are actually red pilling so many people that you probably don't even have a clue about.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you hear these people, you're like, what in the world are they sound so ignorant. I mean, and the way you just dismantle them is kind of hilarious, actually.
Yeah, they don't even know. They don't even know what's happened.
But
they don't even know what's happened when it's happened. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when you had the what is this guy's name again? Renee or whatever.
Oh. Yeah.
For 10 minutes. That was like the most beautiful thing, because you just expose how weird these people are.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it was a good thing.
Listen, I've been,
call in.
The show has been going on for over 2 hours, okay? I've lost track of how many liberals, they've all been unhinged. All been completely unhinged. There hasn't been one sane one. Most of them have threatened me or used profanity, or both.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we see it. I'm a member of yours for
that last guy. The last guy that called in, that was trying to pass himself off as MAGA. I mean, my goodness, that's a grown man and is.
He lied about that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and he's called back and they try to get with these got you moments, and they just sound so silly. And you're saying to yourself, like, what are these people thinking? Like, it just baffles me what their thought process is.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I saw the memorial yesterday, Charlie Kirk's memorial. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was, heartbroken especially when I saw Susie Wales got up there. She was like almost crying. All of them. It was just an amazing. I watched pretty much the whole thing.
The only moment I don't think Tucker should have been up there, and he took that swipe at Jews, talking about how some guys eating hummus killed Jesus. And then he had that weird laugh that he does, Tucker. Tucker was,
Oh yeah, I mean that was because he had the speech right after Susie had it.
Yeah.
And I remember that. Actually, what was that? That was a little weird, but I don't know. Tucker, I don't know whether he was always like that or just the last 2 years or something, or year and a half.
You mean the anti-Semitism?
He totally turned me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the anti-Semitism and all kind of weird conspiracies, along with the other one, Candace Owens.
Yeah, well, she wasn't invited. She wasn't invited.
She was. Yeah, I think she went to some kind of Kanye West thing or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, these people are something else.
Well, listen, I'm going to move on, but hey, listen, I appreciate the call, and call me again sometime, all right? Take care. From Connecticut. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, hold on. Let's try this line. Oh, hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
I'm a big football fan. I watch the NFL every Sunday. My wife goes to work. She works part-time. I sat down and I turned on this thing yesterday, and let me tell you, I cried for 4 hours. Actually, more than 4 hours. Sat here bawling. When my wife walked in, she said, "What the hell happened?" I was sitting there, tears were coming down my face.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of observations. Okay, forgiveness is a great thing. It's very powerful. Even President Trump and Elon Musk shook hands. It's amazing what tragedies will bring people together. That was a big surprise, because and they actually shook hands and they sat together and talked. And I think they forgave each other. And that's number one. Number two.
I hope so.
Number two. I listened to Renee from Harlem, and I thought when he made this phone call to you, to think that at one time he was an innocent little baby who had no hatred in his heart, no bigotry. And look what's happened to this man over the course of his life. He's been infested with the devil. And I'm sorry to say it, the devil. He can call up and call racist and insult the audience and say, oh, your listeners are racist. There's something wrong with this young man, or whatever age he is. Well, whatever age he is, he's been corrupted by this terrible things in his life. Reparations, I wouldn't give him 5 cents. I'll tell you the truth, he doesn't deserve 5 cents. And the other thing I observed was you played Jasmine Crockett. Now there's a false prophet. She sounded like a perfectly educated woman, not a woman of color, not a white woman, not a black. She sounded educated, but when she gets up in front of her constituency, she comes out with that ghetto garbage talk and tries to act uneducated like street talk. And that, to me, is phony, fake, and she's really mocking her people that support her. It's amazing to me.
It is.
The other thing is that the last thing is that Eric, and this is going to go to you personally, because religion is personal. Erika Kirk, I watched a lot of things here. She literally was raised a very religious Catholic girl in a Catholic family. Okay. You know, she went to Liberty University, and now you know what you know who her pastor is? Completely opposite from what you did. She Calvary Chapel, and her pastor is. So, and in other words, and they asked her questions of why she changed, and she said things about the Catholic Church with the Bible that she read. I don't know anything about this. My mother was Catholic, but she wasn't a religious Catholic, and the reading of the Bible is more with Calvary Chapel than it is with. She said she only heard with the Bible when the priest on Sunday would read the Bible. Yeah. In other words, people.
Well, what happens, at Liberty University does not allow Catholic. You have to leave the Catholic Church to even attend there, and a lot of the non-denominational churches, they think the Catholics that we're in a cult, but whatever. What are we going to do? I'm not going to try to. I'm not trying to convert everyone to Catholicism.
No, but Catholic churches lost people, and while they were losing, you went there.
Well, the Catholic Church is actually gaining big time in memberships, even with all the illegals getting kicked out, leaving parishes around the country. The Catholic Church is going through a major growth spurt right now in the country. But what happened to me is I've been a Christian my whole life, and my wife and I, we used to live in Plantation, and we were very active at a local Methodist church. I talked about this. I was like the board op during church services. I did the sound during church services and funerals and stuff. The Christmas pageants, and we moved to Palm Beach County, and we couldn't find a church. We went to every church. We thought we found a church, but then the youth minister got arrested in a men's room in North Carolina, propositioning an undercover cop for oral sex. So we said, well, we better get out of here. And we couldn't find a church. And then we were driving by a Catholic church. We heard the bells on a Saturday, and we said, let's check it out. And I felt at home. So that led to.
I was surprised because she went the opposite from you. She went from the Catholic Church, very religious, to Calvary, and a Calvary pastor and a Calvary mentor.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a like when I called my daughter up yesterday let's go to church this Saturday, and the reason I said Saturday is because I've not been to Mass since the pandemic. Okay, when they shut down the churches. So I haven't been to church in like 5 years, maybe 6 at this point, and I haven't gone to confession. And not going to Mass is one of the sins. So before I can receive communion, I have to go to confession. And confession is Saturday, before the Saturday afternoon Mass. And my daughter didn't want to go to a Catholic church. She wanted to go to she wanted to go to like a Calvary Chapel or Church by the Glades kind of church. And I said, no, I said, no, that's not for me. And she said, okay, well, we'll go. So she's going to go with me to Mass.
Why is it you turned against Calvary Chapel? I know that I used to.
I never was a Calvary person. Steve was. I did go there before Steve for a while. I don't. The non-denominational churches. This is just my opinion. And listen, I want everybody to go to church and accept Jesus. But the Protestant churches in general, but specifically the non-denominational churches, when you go to Mass, it's not so much about Jesus like you heard Erika Kirk talk about. I heard somebody over the weekend describe it this way, and this is great. It's like going to a TED Talk. It's like a motivational thing more than it is. It's a Christian concert followed by a TED Talk in most of the instances. So, that's just not for me. So I told my daughter no. And then she said, okay, we'll go to Mass together.
Okay. You know what I did after that, and I didn't realize it. I went on YouTube, and I suggest that people go on YouTube after your show.
Hey, don't do anything till after I'm off the air.
And I actually went the reading of the Bible. They got one thing there with the Old Testament, 87 hours of scripture that's actually word for word read to you. So for people that have a problem reading or people that have lost their sight, it's a wonderful thing.
So let me get things back on track here with what we're talking about here. I've been a terrible Christian. I haven't been to Mass in 5 or 6 years, and I don't read the Bible. Okay, and I'm changing all of that, and it was because of this event yesterday, and what I was talking about is, and I am so sure that before I've been on the air since 5:15 a.m. and I opened with this, but I'm sure people said this last night. I didn't say it, but I'm sure people said this last night. If not, people will say this today, that last night when Erika Kirk said, I forgive him, that was
changed your life.
That was the beginning of a Christian revival in this country. And I think that a lot of people got out of the habit of going to church during the pandemic, because I used to go regularly, every week pretty much, and I think a lot of people broke that habit of going to church. And I believe in that memorial yesterday has begun a great American Christian revival. And I think that's what happened. And the left they're done. They're done.
Freaking out. I got the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm looking at your background. Erika Kirk is in the background, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking that here's a woman that suffered the most tragic loss and to feel sorry for her is one thing, but she has 2 children that are going to come up without a father, and hear somebody like Renee call you up and say he's glad that Charlie was assassinated.
I couldn't believe it.
He is a sick man.
He's twisted.
He's so twisted. Because you sit there, any human being with passion, and I don't care what color you are, if that would have been a black woman up there crying like that, I would have felt the same way. It's humanity. Yeah. He's lost his humanity. And that's a terrible thing.
He's a mental patient. But he's typical. I mean, look at how Jasmine Crockett behaved on CNN. Right?
She's another one. Yeah. They're all like that.
All right, I gotta run, Richie, but we'll talk again. Thanks for your call. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about the Sloman Shield link. This is such a super cool thing because this works with all the devices you already have in your house, okay? Listen to this. The Sloman Shield link takes your everyday actions and routines at home, sets things up by your preferences, and connects all the devices you already have in your home. So what happens is you come home in the afternoon, you come home at night, your lights come on, TV comes on, music comes on, computer comes on, whatever you want to come on, it comes on. The Shield link can act on almost any scenario you want it to. It creates scenes based on what you want to happen. Maybe you want your thermostat to turn down when you turn on the alarm when you leave the house. Maybe you want your doors to automatically lock or your security lights to come on at a particular time. All this is done automatically with the Sloman's Shield link. And get this, it works with the devices you already have in your home. And Sloman's, they are going to connect all of that for you. It's part of the service. So you're not going to have to do any crazy technical stuff. And they have 24/7 customer support after that available to you. Give them a call. Get the Sloman Shield link. It's absolutely amazing. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. All right. Where are we? Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Steve from Indiana.
Hey, Steve. Yep, you're on. What's up?
Oh, good, great. Thank you. Good morning, Brian.
Yep.
How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Love the T-shirt.
Thank you. One of my alligator Alcatraz shirts. I have a bunch of these.
Fantastic. Two things concern me. Okay, the thinking that the Democrat Party has done, that bothers me.
We mean assassinating Charlie Kirk?
Well, no. The fact is that I think people are thinking that they don't have to worry about the Dems anymore, but they have a nasty habit of coming out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
Secondly, the other thing that kind of bothers me is a lack of knowledge of history. Particularly that one person you had on about the Jewish nation. What's wrong with America that we don't know history, don't know that Abraham Lincoln was Republican?
Because we've let the liberals take control of our education system from pre-K through graduate school and college, and they don't want people to know. They don't educate. Because if people know the true history, they'd be Republicans.
Oh, very true, very true. And I do have a degree in a bachelor's degree from college, and I have seen the total left-wing leanings that the professors had, even in a conservative arena that I was in.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they shot Charlie. That's why they
Doris,
shot Charlie, because he was waking up these college kids.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's one thing I thought Charlie Kirk really was an asset to the Republicans. I mean, he helped us out so much.
He sure did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call from Indiana.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right. Take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you want to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. If you're watching on the live stream with the green behind me, go to my main live stream where the main chat is, and you can see and hear all the video and everything that I play. And the direct link is pinned in the live chat. And there's also a link in the description. So you click that link. It's right here on YouTube. It'll take you to my main stream. And you'll get to see and hear all the audio and video and things that we go over. We're going to be back in 1 minute. So I'm going to not take a call until we're back. Do you guys mind? Because I'd have to cut you off. We got less than a minute. If you do want to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right? Okay. Where? Okay. Lost track. Okay. 25 seconds. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. If you're on hold, stand by. We're talking about the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and you can agree or disagree with me on this, but two things occurred last night. I watched every second of it, okay? I'll tell you this. I did miss Tulsi Gabbard. So I did miss that because I was live streaming on YouTube. They had a break and she came on when I was live. So I did miss Tulsi. So I watched every second but Tulsi Gabbard, but I'm sure she was great. And when I was watching it, and the cabinet started coming up, they were the members of the cabinet, the Secretary of State, Secretary of War, Vice President, Susie Wiles. Even she's not in the cabinet, she's chief of staff. She's their boss. I have never seen the president, the vice president, and members of the cabinet get up in a row and start talking about Jesus like that before. I've never seen anything like that happen. Have you? No. And when Erika Kirk said, I forgive him, I've been talking about how I believe that was the beginning of a great American Christian revival. And there's been some agreement and disagreement on that on the phones today. You're welcome to call in about that. But I also think that everything has changed in this country in a way that people aren't fully realizing because we're living through this moment. And this is what I think has happened. A week ago today, J.D. Vance was hosting the Charlie Kirk show, and I watched that show. And at the end of the show, he says there is no unity with the left. They shot the president. They shot Charlie. You know, there's no unity with the left. And you see how they behaved on the phones today. They've all been unhinged. I've even gotten threats. One was going to do something to my neck, right? I heard that call earlier. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And people and Jasmine Crockett on CNN yesterday was insane what she was saying, you know, and she really put a face to the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is done. Done. And now, of course, we got to remain active and make this happen, but this very well could be a midterm election and a second term where we gain seats in both houses of Congress. The president came in with a mandate. He's got a super mandate now, and I think there's been a major change where people in this country by the millions are just done with the left. Just done. Tens of millions of Americans have been red-pilled in the last 10 days. And the Democrats never miss an opportunity to go even lower than they've gone before. And what I was talking about at the top of the show, and you can agree or disagree with me on this, the great American Christian revival began with her forgiveness of the assassin, Erika Kirk. But there's the other thing. At the end, when the president was done speaking, and then he brought Erika Kirk back out, and he consoled her in front of the world and held her, that's the moment that America was made great again. It's like, you know, we still got work to do, and we got to maintain it. But at that moment in time, I just felt the country came together, and President Trump, through this, at that moment, made America great again. That's it. Boom, right there. And the unhinged liberals that I'm hearing from on the phones today are evidence of that because they know that it's happened. Your thoughts on all this are welcome. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice.
Hello.
Oh, you just made it.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Thanks for having me. My name is Raul from Florida.
Hold on, Raul from Florida. Let me answer all these lines. All right, Raul, what's on your mind?
Just feeling a little sad. That these people call to your show. It's my first time calling, by the way. But
well, welcome.
These guys just be so unhinged, talking about just looking away to be angry at somebody that basically dedicate his life to unify people, to talk to people. I've been following Kirk since basically before the Trump first term, and I haven't seen anything in any of his videos that basically threaten, anybody's assistance. Like just what happened to him. Mm-hmm. And it's basically very sad that this country, at least half of it, is going that way. And the radicalization of the people. I mean, how people can deny that there is a big problem on the left.
Well, we're done. What I've been saying is we're done with the left. President Trump, J.D. Vance, they're done with the left. There's no, you've heard them on the phones today. J.D. Vance said there's no unity. And Marco Rubio was talking about this at the memorial yesterday, too. What middle ground is there with these people at this point?
Yeah, there's no They don't listen. They don't listen at all. I personally, I'm very open-minded to talk with people, even if very radical. And again, I got to this country 2006. I'm an engineer. English, as you can see, is my second language.
What country? So, where are you from originally? Where'd you immigrate from?
Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're going there on our MAGA cruise.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, I was there before. We had a great time. We went snorkeling in Dominican. It was it was beautiful.
Yes,
the waters are beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So this stuff this memorial was something else. Like I never, on all these years being here, I never see anything like that. Nothing that kind of sparkles so many people into it. And I've seen. I'm in a blue county. I'm in Orange County, Florida.
Oh yes, Orlando. So, yes.
I saw yesterday a couple people trying to do. Protest parallel to this memorial, and it was just embarrassing because this was like one people in one corner and then like two people in another one. Like, I think that the left, I think it's a factual thing that they are on the lowest, approval ratings ever.
Yes.
Because, what type of excuse you will have to celebrate this type of stuff? There's people celebrating this.
Do you know Erika Kirk? She didn't show this because it was under her shirt. She was wearing a cross that Charlie was wearing, and it still has his blood on it. The one he was wearing when he was assassinated. She had it on. You couldn't see it. It was under her shirt. You could see the chain. Yeah. And the left are angry at us. They assassinated the number 2 guy in the MAGA movement, and they're angry at us.
Well, let me tell you, I always say to all my friends here, since I've been following Kirk, that he was a future president of the United States.
Yeah.
Like clearly, he was, in my opinion, after 2028, 2032 maybe.
You know what, though? Erika Kirk could be Vance's vice president, after last night. Yeah, I got to run. We're up against the break, but call me again sometime, all right? You're a good caller.
No problem, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. 2 hours down, 1 to go. Back right after this. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break and while I get Steve on the line. And don't forget, I'm going to share this. Mike Lindell sent me a television commercial he made for us here. Take advantage of these deals. Let Mike Lindell know that his support of the program is money well spent. All right, go to mypillow.com. Use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. All right. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold. Hold on, okay? I'll pick you up in a second. Okay, I know. I called the number. Hold on. All right, you like our new TV commercial that Mike Lindell sent? All right, let me go here. All right, Steve, you there?
I am.
Okay, now if I lose you, I'll call you back during the break, all right?
Okay, that sounds good.
Did you watch the memorial?
He shouldn't lose me.
Oh, I know, well, hopefully. I'm just telling you if I do.
Okay.
All right. Did you watch the memorial?
Oh, all day.
Okay.
Didn't miss a minute.
Good. Good. All right. We'll be back in 1 minute. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a second, Steve. Hold on. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
I am here.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds better. The audio quality sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good on my end, too.
Yeah. Okay.
We haven't done the...
oh, well, everybody can hear what you're... No, that's not for 45 minutes.
I got you.
All right, stand by. All right, the third hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane joining us. The phone's ringing off the hook. So you watched the Charlie Kirk Memorial all day, Steve?
Well, I watched every bloody second of it from the beginning to the end. Every ounce of what it struck me as a major miracle. I mean, from a political point of view, just unbelievable. I mean, everybody knows the Democrats have been in trouble for a long time, but the coup de grace was the thing that show they had yesterday. It just blew my mind.
Yeah.
The Democrats are finished. They're finished. And we're going to get to see it real quick because naturally the timing is perfect because the Lord is in control of all that. But with the midterms coming up, they're going to get wiped. Wiped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, I was CNN actually carried the memorial service yesterday. I don't know if MSNBC did. I didn't check MSNBC. I forgot.
Too little, too late.
Well, yeah, but I was watching the commentators a little bit on CNN before and during stuff, and they don't understand what's happened here. They there were 200,000 people were at the arena yesterday. 200,000. How many watched around the country? I haven't seen any estimates on, but there were 200. And the media and the Democrats, they think these are all people that were followers of Charlie Kirk all along. They're not. And, Turning Point was a youth. We all knew who he was, but he was just like another conservative commentator. Yeah,
exactly right.
Turning Point's a youth organization for kids. And the average age in that arena was 40 plus. And they don't understand that tens of millions of people have now joined his movement after his assassination that had nothing to do with it before. But they think, these are these Turning Point people.
They don't. Well, Erika said it best. They have no idea what they've unleashed.
Nope.
But they're going to find out, and they're going to find out real fast.
Yeah.
Because between that and everything else that's going on, I mean, they were sort of dead before this. But this is like in bullfighting, after the bull has been subdued and he's dying in the ring, the matador goes over and, what do they call it, the coup de grace? Mm-hmm. I used to be a big bullfighting person, but when I lived in California. But anyway, he goes over and he takes a little dagger, a 6-inch dagger, and approaches the bull who's comatose, was semi-dead on the ground, and he just cuts the spinal column from behind and put him out of his misery. That's what I was thinking of as I was watching these Democrats flail around in the pre-show day.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And they don't even have the sense to even pretend, right? Because they have no idea what's happened. They have no idea.
They're tuned out of reality.
Yes.
Just tuned out.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Steve, I'm not making this up. I have heard multiple Democrats say, when they say the shooter was liberal, well, and they say, and I'm not talking about just callers, I'm talking about around and about. Well, how do you know he was a Democrat? He's a gay guy with a transgendered boyfriend. And this is what they say. And this is a very strange concept. This is how far gone liberals are. They're actually saying, well, he's not gay. They think that if you're a guy and you're having sex with a transgendered man that's become a woman, you're not gay. You're still straight. No, you're gay. And
they're out of shape.
They can't admit that the guy that did it was a Democrat.
Out of space.
They can't admit that he was gay. They even tell you he wasn't gay. Now, if he had a boyfriend that was a guy that wasn't transitioning, he'd be gay. But his boyfriend was transitioning to a woman, so he's not gay. They don't know.
Yeah, they're in another world.
Exactly.
They're in another world.
Exactly.
And it's all coming crashing down. And on top of that, I mean, as if the events of the day were not enough to do them in. Like today, we're going to be treated to this debate on the budget, the Schumer shutdown. That's going to be...
good luck, Schumer.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. Let them shut it down while they're ridding... I was talking earlier, a major Christian revival movement began with this event yesterday. I'm talking about a massive one, and there's been attempts. And I can't. What you and I did was.
Well, I think it began with the shooting.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I would if I was looking for a beginning, that would be the beginning.
Well, that was the spark. But when I was watching this memorial yesterday, you expect the preacher and his immediate staff to talk about Jesus. But when the cabinet got up there, I have never heard sitting cabinet members talk about Jesus one after the other like this at any event ever in history that I've seen. And that is something completely different. And it was
interesting. My sister in California asked me, I told her I was going to go to church on Sunday. And she asked me, I spoke to her last night, she asked me if I made it to church. I said, well, no, I didn't go to church, but I watched the Kirk service from beginning to end.
Exactly.
And that was better than any church experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
And I'm going back to church this weekend with my family, and I haven't been to church in person in years. I haven't.
I think there are a lot of people we're going to find out who are not connected with, who were not born again going in. I think you're going to find a lot of turning points going to turn a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, what you and I went to this thing about 15 or 20 years ago, which is very tiny compared to this. But remember when we went to the Promise Keepers in Miami?
Oh, yes.
And Promise Keepers, that was at the American Airlines Arena where the Miami Heat play. And that was kind of like a Christian revival event. And it was and it was just from this thing yesterday was the Promise Keepers times infinity. This was a national Christian revival event. I've never seen anything like this before. And there's a common theme. J.D. Vance, I was talking about, said this last week, and I heard Marco Rubio talking about it last night. The Trump administration, they're done with reaching out across the aisle. J.D. Vance said there's no unity with the Democrats. They want us dead, right? So how are you going to how are you going to reach across the aisle with this old cretin, Chuck Schumer, who sits around?
We're going to take a step backwards politically. We're going to take a step backwards and let them destroy themselves.
Exactly.
That's what's coming next.
They're already on life support. Their party is all but non-existent right now. It's almost completely falling apart. Do you want to take any calls?
Sure, absolutely. I wouldn't mind getting, I was thinking of how Charlie Kirk works with people calling in, taking issue with your political positions. I love the controversy on this show, but I would rather have it evolve around the issues where you come after us with, what our positions are, and, you have opposing positions. Question us, put us on the spot.
Well,
rather than call in with these bird brain crank nutty calls.
Well, I've heard from a lot of liberals today. They've all been unhinged. There's been a few threats made against me. One person was talking about doing something with my neck. So we'll see. I'd like that too. But what I think is going on with the Democrat callers, it's that anger stage of grief. They realize their party's done, and they're freaking out. All right, let's go. All righty. Let's go to right here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right. You there? All right. You missed your chance. All right. That's okay. We got plenty of calls. Let's try another one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man.
Oh, here you go, Steve. Yes.
Hey, man. Hey, this is Roy from Jefferson City, Missouri.
Yeah, first of all, drop the, I realize you don't have a lot to say, but drop the accent and get into real issues. No, I'm sorry to throw you off base.
You're asking a lot,
Sorry to throw
Steve.
off your presupposed material.
You're asking a lot of that guy. He hung up. He hung up the phone.
Yeah, okay, then let's move on. That didn't take long.
Let's do this. Let's move on after the break, and I want to talk about the laser weight pain treatment with Dr. Appleton. You know, I saw Dr. Appleton on Saturday, and I was talking. You know, first time he treated me, it was for my knee pain that I'd suffered from for about 30 years. I was a passenger in a car accident. You know, you tense up. I tensed my leg up and messed up my knee and hurt for 2 treatments. He rid me of pain. You know, we had, Steve, on Friday, Dr. Appleton was telling me we had 2 listeners come in from North Carolina to see him. Isn't that amazing? I know. I mean, we're a national show now, Steve. It's amazing. But I was talking to him. I was like, 30 years, I tried everything with my knee. Why does it work? And he explained it, it's like you with the neuropathy. When you go see Dr. Appleton, I went over there to record a couple of new commercials that we're going to be playing on the radio. So usually when I go over there, I'm in massive pain. So I don't have deep conversations about how the laser works. I just want the pain gone. So we're recording commercials, and I said, well, how did you rid me of 30 years of pain? And he said, Brian, he says, I don't just have a laser, I have a robotic laser. And he says, if you remember, he says, anytime I treat you, the laser doesn't just target one area, it's moving around the entire area. So he said, as an example, with your knee and your shoulder, I got the top of your knee, the sides of your knee, behind your knee, and his laser goes deep in there. Even though it's completely painless, you don't even feel it, the robotic laser covers the whole area. And I thought, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now I understand how it works. And, it works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Give Dr. Appleton a call. And here's the other thing. It is a free consultation with Dr. Appleton. All right? So when you go in there, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Take advantage of the free consultation. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a second, Steve. Okay, hold on. All right, we're still in break. Let me get Steve on the line. All right, are you there, Steve?
I am.
This phone is 10 times better than the other one.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
The sound is like richer, deeper.
It sounds a lot better on my end too.
Yeah. All right.
Now the crucial test.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we're going to be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh, man. I want to tell everybody about my pillow. Oh, my goodness. You know, there is... Let me tell everybody here about my pillow right now. While we're in break, all you guys watching online, there is, right now, this 3-in-1 sale that is going on. It's an end-of-the-year closeout, so they're doing a lot of closing out before they get in the stuff for Christmas. The 6-piece MyPillow towel sets have been out of stock for a long time. The 6-piece MyPillow towel set is back in stock. There's a huge discount with our promo code KANE at checkout. They have 10 different colors, and they're just $39.98. And these are the most incredible towels you have ever used, ever. And I give you a quick example. Listen to this, Steve. I had a 16-ounce cup of coffee, and I dropped it on the floor in my house, outside the bathroom and the guest bathroom. Luckily, I have a tile floor. I reached into the bathroom. I grabbed the MyPillow towel, threw it over it. It soaked up all the coffee right off the floor. I picked it up. The floor was dry, and boom. So when Mike Lindell on TV says towels that actually work, they actually absorb the work. Yeah, the other towels that you have, all they do is spread the water around. Like when you get out of the shower, it just spreads the water around, not the MyPillow towels. They're just $39.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. All right, so hold on, Steve, 1 second. All right, so are you there, Steve?
I'm here.
This is the way to go. That other phone is trash. This is the one. This is the one.
All right.
All right. Oh,
I'm excited.
By the way, free shipping's available too, guys, with our promo code KANE. All right, we'll be back in it. Hold on, 10 seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. And, you know, Steve, there's been these moments where, you know, political moments where one party is kind of beat up. Like the Republicans, it probably sucked being a Republican right after Watergate, right? you know what I mean? But during
Watergate.
Oh, during and after. I mean, Yeah. But I don't think both political parties have been through times, right? The Democrats had Bill Clinton and scandals and stuff. I have never seen one of the two political parties as devastated as this. And
well, they're extinct. They're devastated to the point where they're extinct.
Exactly.
I mean, it'll be judged in time-wise. It'll be judged in the terms of the off-year election, because that's where we're going to see it explode in a way that they can't deny.
Yep.
But that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
It's going to be everybody's talking about how close it is in an off year, and where they expect Republican losses. They're going to see a real landslide. That's what I predict.
Yeah,
I'm going out on a limb.
And the Democrats, they're so stupid and in denial. They have no idea what's going on and that this change has occurred. They go out, every single one of them, they go on TV and say, well, we're against assassinations, but Charlie Kirk said this and he said that. So what they do is they justify the assassination. And people are like, what is wrong with you? All right, let's...
what's wrong with them is they've picked the wrong leaders and they've destroyed their own party.
Well, who is their leader now? Who is their leader? Schumer?
They have no Schumer, but they have no viable candidate.
Over the weekend, see, this is how desperate they are. Over the weekend, they leaked out this fake story that AOC is thinking about running for president. I guess it's dawned on them new scum is done, right?
It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, run AOC. That's great. Yeah, that's great. She was trashing Charlie Kirk on the floor of the House over the weekend, and she did not vote. She voted against that resolution. All right, let's see if we can find a coherent Democrat. Let's go. You're on the air.
You can ask a coherent line of questioning.
Let's not raise the bar too high. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Sam Hyde from the United States of Israel.
Okay, that's your one-liner. You got anything to say?
Yeah, I do have something to say, actually. You guys keep talking about... Well, you brought up history books, and I want to point to the fact that all the history books in America, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, an Israeli Mossad agent, is the one who published those. and you want to talk about Democrats, Republicans.
We don't want to talk double talk, and that's what you're talking. We'll give you 5 seconds to say something coherent. 1, 2, 3,
okay, you want something coherent
4.
from me.
Goodbye.
Well, I learned something there, Steve. He said Jews write all the history books. I thought the Jews controlled all the money.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
You Jews are pretty busy for a small group of people. You got the banks, you got all the money. Now you write all the history books. What what are the rest of us doing? And they got this new talking point. I didn't.
They don't have any coherent points to make. That's their problem. He did fine till he was asked a question.
There's this other thing too. I keep hearing. I didn't know that all you Jews were in Mossad. Are you in Mossad, Steve? I mean, these.
Not last time I checked.
Really? Is your wife in Mossad? There's got to be Mossad in your family. I mean, my.
The Mossadist.
Yes. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Pastor Trevor at Morning Star Church in Vero. How are you?
Hey, Pastor. How you doing?
Good, good. I just want to share how impressed I was by the memorial service. I was able to start watching, when Frank Turk came up. And, if you've ever run soundboard and you visit another church, you're kind of critical on how they do their sound. And just the pastoral eyes on it. I mean, from the scriptural sound choices, the people coming out for the cabinets, I mean, from, Rubio and Hexeth and, even Tucker Carlson, everyone just breaking down the gospel and not shying away from saying the name Jesus. And then J.D. Vance to say in the last few weeks, they've never had more kind of Bible studies and discussions on the gospel. And, I've known of Charlie Kirk, but boy, I did not recognize just how involved he was in the political atmosphere in that capacity.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I really think this is more than a revival. Revivals can sometimes just be very hyper spiritual. I call it like a reformation. And
yes,
for Erika up there, for one to forgive the shooter, and I'm so grateful she did. And she didn't have to do it on stage. She could have done that more privately or with her own pastor, but for her to publicly state that, it separates from everything else. I mean, it's countercultural in every regards, but I
think what you said, reformation is better than revival. Yeah, that's a better word, reformation. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Because it's coming back to God's word. It's coming back to Scripture. It's coming back. Let's go to church. And we've seen a few people come to our church because of this. And I was over at a memorial service right before yesterday's memorial for a Charlie Kirk event up in Vero, and they did a little flyover. But so the reach for all of this is even beyond viewership and those attending. And so I'm very hopeful in this time that it's not like any other kind of memorial service. That's my take on it.
All right.
Minister's point of view.
All right, Pastor Trevor, Morning Star in Vero. You guys check him out. All right. There was only one Tucker. I didn't like what Tucker said. He said a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus killed Jesus, and then he did that giggle laugh. Tucker doesn't like Jews.
Tucker's a little full of himself.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Did they have hummus back then? I don't know. I'm not a hummus fan. All right, but he's weird. Yeah, Tucker. Yeah. All right, you're on the.
Sort of
disappeared
from the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there around the edges, but doesn't seem to enjoy the popularity he once had.
Well, the anti-Semitism comes out of him. He's, You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right. Once, twice. All right. You have missed your chance. All right. We got time for one more before the break. Let's go. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mark from New Hampshire.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
So you're talking about the Charlie Kirk Memorial, right?
Yes.
And
was there another one yesterday that we missed?
I have a quote from, if you're going to be sarcastic, sir, maybe just not talk. I have a quote from Charlie, and I wonder what you think about it.
Now, here we go.
Well, go ahead. What are you posing in the lights? Come on.
Excuse me. I am talking. I started reading. Can you let me read?
Hold on.
Yeah,
you're talking?
know.
You think you're talking? Get off the phone.
Yeah, we know.
You got a new phone, Steve, and it's I don't know. Did it come with
really
testosterone? Did it come with testosterone?
Oh,
you got that
my
anti-aging
God.
thing going on? Oh my goodness.
They just don't get it. They don't get it. Well, when you can't argue coherently, that's what you have to resort to.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, I wish I had that mic that Charlie used to use when he would sit down and invite people to come forward and ask any questions or make any coherent statements. These people, the fringes that you hear on the phones, are not even coherent.
Steve, I think that's your average Democrat. I think these are average Democrats we're hearing from on the phones.
They're beyond average. The average Democrat is more oblivious and less vicious.
I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret, and I didn't realize that I really didn't realize I needed to lose so much weight until I started doing it. And then I looked at myself from a few months ago, and I'm like, I'm embarrassed, And we're going to have to do another appearance, Steve, at Wings Plus, because I want everybody to get new pictures of me with my normal face as opposed to that round face that I had on Inauguration Day. But, the thing about Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I was a little nervous about it because you guys see me on YouTube, and I'm like, well, if I can't lose all the weight, people are gonna be laughing. Not only did I lose the weight, but I lost a lot more than my goal. And my results are typical. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, you can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. Do what I did. Give them a call. Go in there. It's a no-charge consultation with Dr. Zuckerman. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, during the break. Hold on. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, Haku. Kathy, I got to let Haku in. He's going nuts. All right. Come here, Haku. You guys can hear on YouTube. All right, Haku. Haku's my daughter's cat. I had to take care of my dog. One of my daughter's cats lives with us, Haku, and he's just meowing so loud. I know he's loud. You wouldn't believe how far away he was. And you guys could still hear him. I'm going to wait till after the break to take these calls, so just stand by. We're going to be back soon. Now, those of you that are watching on the live stream with the green screen, if you would like to go to the main stream, where the main chat is, so you can see and hear all the video and everything that I play, the link is pinned in the live chat. There's also, the link is in the video description. So if you click that, it's right here on YouTube. It'll take you right to the main stream. If you're on hold, stand by. All right, we are going to be back shortly. Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. We passed the test so far.
All right.
We got about
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we got about 30 seconds. The gold report's the next break. Oh, man. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna hold on. Right, Steve, you there? Steve? Steve, you there? Mike, I'm going to need a few seconds. All right, we are back. Let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Vivi from Central Florida.
Hey, what's up?
I saw Kirk's memorial all day yesterday. I was hooked on the television. I would like to mention something about forgiveness. And when Erika forgave, everybody saw that she was in pain when she forgave the shooter. So a lot of people believe that you have to be in joy and in the right heart, state of heart, to forgive. But a forgiveness is an act of confession. It's an act of, because this is the will of the Lord, that you forgive and you confess it. And through that, God can help your heart.
But you know,
so that's what I just wanted to
I know
say.
we know what in theory and what we're supposed to do, but not many people could do what she did less than 2 weeks after what happened.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to do that. I really don't.
But it's like she said it's what Jesus was wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And she quoted scripture to gain strength to be able to do it.
That's
because
right.
Humanly,
well, listen, I got to move
it.
on, but I do appreciate the call. Okay, all right. Okay, now if you're on hold, stand by. Our number is toll free. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening. All right, hold on. There we go. All right. We got you back, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay, that was my fault, because you've got a new number, and I forgot, and I hung up on you. All right, because I didn't recognize the number. Okay, we have one opening on the board at 888-465-2631. You know, what I wonder, because, Steve, everyone today that's conservative is going to be talking like us, right? The Democrats are done. They don't understand what's going on. Do you think that's even going to work?
I don't think the general public, both conservative and liberal, they know the Democrats are in trouble, but I don't think most of them understand that it's over. And it is over. As usual, we're on the cutting edge.
Okay, all right. It seems pretty obvious to me, but I guess when you're a genius, when things seem obvious to us that don't to others. There's one thing, though, that I want to mention. I did mention this the other day, but I don't think you were here. Charlie Kirk did a daily, midday radio show and podcast from his own studio. Mm-hmm. They're keeping the show, the Charlie Kirk Show. They're just, right now they're doing a rotation of host. I don't know but it's still the Charlie Kirk Show. And I wish they would have done that with Rush, the Rush Limbaugh program. They should have kept
the difference is Rush's health was so bad, he was dying.
Yeah, but Charlie Kirk's dead, and they're still keeping it the Charlie Kirk Show. And it's still in his same studio with his name all over it. And the Charlie Kirk Show is going to continue with so far they've been rotating host. I don't know.
Well, they have an unbelievable staff. I mean, he hired all the right people, and he had a little help from the Donald, and that's an incredible organization now. Incredible.
But they could have kept the EIB network together. It'd be so nice if the Rush Limbaugh program still existed, with like real talent hosting it instead of these guys that changed the name and are trying to rip off what he was doing. But I like this idea though that they've kept the Charlie Kirk show in place, and it's going to stay in place. Who the permanent host is, if any, is unknown. Last week they had J.D. Vance one day, Glenn Beck one day, Tucker one day, Megyn Kelly one day, and then his producer co-hosted another day. But I don't know what the long-term plan. And I was a little surprised. Glenn Beck owns Rush Limbaugh's golden microphone, the golden EIB microphone. I
heard about that.
Yeah. I don't know how he ended up with that. He said Rush's wife gave it to him. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Sherry from Texas. How are you?
All right, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
Hey, so I just wanted to speak. I mean, I watched it from the start to the end, and I don't think there was a dry tear in my home, and there were quite a few people in my home. And in the 59 years of my life, I have never, watching presidential memorials, Princess Diana, I have never in my life seen something so large like I saw yesterday.
Never.
It was astounding.
Ever.
They tried to say, now they did say, and I don't believe, now again, I wasn't alive at the time, but I did look back. They tried to say that Martin Luther King had a funeral like this. No. No. They did they did a procession through Atlanta, and people turned out, but there were 200,000 showed up at the arena.
And just viewing, I hopped on to Fox now. It was on Fox is where I was watching it, and it was showing almost 700,000 people were viewing this
on that one stream.
Just the one stream, and that we're not even talking that the physical attendance in Arizona. They even had an overflow building there, right? So the whole purpose of my call is after Charlie Kirk's assassination, I go to church every Sunday, right? I get up, I have my morning ritual, right? My own personal ritual that I do every day. Well, Sunday came, and the church I've been going to for about a year, I had this thought. I said, I'm really curious on if they are going to mention word of what happened, because this is not just a movement of a city, a town, a state. This was a world movement. So I walk into church, I sit down, and we get halfway through it, and I'm thinking, nothing yet has been said. Well, by the end of the sermon and all, there was not one single word mentioned. Now, that speaks volume. Number two, I will never step foot back into that church.
What kind of church
Number
was
three,
it? What kind of church is it?
Well, I looked it up, and it doesn't say non-denominational, right? But I will tell you, 2 weeks prior to that, they fired the minister. Okay, really? And it was just a coincidence. Well, anyway, I have found another home, a church. But that is just my point, where if you walk into a church after something as progressive, a movement like Charlie Kirk, and not a word was mentioned, I sense darkness there.
Why was the other minister fired? Do you know?
You know what? They just said, they made a point of saying it wasn't anything personal, it wasn't anything corrupt. It wasn't, it's under wraps. They're not going to let anybody know.
But they fired
the true But they fired him. And it had been 5 weeks since they fired him, and still had not replaced him. So
typically, for something like that to happen, it's sex or money. Sex or money. It's got to be.
Or addiction.
Oh, yes. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Or addiction. So
addiction. Yeah. Drugs.
Okay.
So my whole point is if people were looking for affirmation, they were looking to feel safe after his assassination. The church was fuller than it ever had been.
Yeah.
And at the end of that sermon, not one single word was mentioned about Charlie.
Do you think that there were a lot of people in the church that felt like you, that like, what happened? Why was this not mentioned?
Well, about 10 minutes before the sermon was up, I left. I picked my family up and I walked out.
Wow.
Behind me were two other families.
Yeah.
There were two other families that walked out behind me. If you cannot even mention a loss of life, one of God's children, in such a horrible, horrible thing that had happened, then where's your foundation of a church?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What has happened, right? Well, again, that was my whole purpose of calling in, is if you cannot walk into a church and feel that presence, then that is obviously not the place for you. And I just want to speak out. Erika Kirk and all the moms out there that have daughters, look at her as the example of who you want your daughter to grow up to be. Not a Kardashian, not a Cardi B, none of those little wannabe Hollywood stars. Erika Kirk is just a perfect example of a woman, what a woman should be, and an example to stand by. She is just a phenomenal individual. Strength, and to get in front of the world and say, I forgive him. I mean, that had to have taken every ounce.
Let me tell you, I've seen a lot of fake kind of Christian people before. The Joel Osteen type, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to tell this one on the air, but Steve and I went to a service together once at a church, and the pastor did something that was so fake, I couldn't believe. But what she did was the real freaking deal. I mean, that was the true, real deal. I mean, that is like a true Christian woman.
Her veil came off.
Yeah.
I mean, and standing there, I mean, anybody that didn't get goosebumps listening to that woman
I was crying. I'm not embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
I was crying.
No. I mean, it was like, oh, my gosh, this woman has unveiled herself and has forgiven this monster.
Yeah.
Because this is what Charlie
and I'll tell you, after that,
do.
and then the president spoke, and then when the president was done and he brought her out and was consoling her on stage, oh my goodness.
Well, one of the things you can't forget is that Turning Point, while it is obviously spiritually based, and there is a huge emphasis placed on Christianity and Christian theology, the reality is that it's still a business. And thank God it's a business, because it is that business that's going to end up working with Kirk's people to spread the word and to assure the political benefits that are going to flow from this. And I say it's God's hand working. That's what it seems to me.
Well, I've never heard her speak before, really. Just a couple words here and there,
she's a great speaker.
Oh, yeah. And when they announced over the weekend that she was going to be the CEO of Turning Point, I kind of thought, I thought, oh, she's going to be like a figurehead. And that's not true. No, she's running the joint. I mean, there's no getting around it. Yeah, she's not a figurehead.
And just before we end the call, the Democratic Party is done. It's gone. There is no more. It's
dead. It's dead.
It is dead. Yes, absolutely. It's gone. But I want to thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you.
And the movement of the memorial yesterday has shifted the entire world. And his mission is just continuing on. And I just want to say thank you, Charlie.
All right, take care. All right, we're gonna take our break and come back with the Gold Report. We'll be right back. Hey there, hold on. Steve, you there?
I am here.
Yeah, because you got a new number that I didn't recognize. I hung up on you last time because I didn't realize it was you. So
that means we still may work?
Yeah. I just hung up on you by accident because you got a different number. Just out of instinct. You've had the same number for 30 years. So so I just, out of instinct, I didn't recognize it. Okay, hold on. Okay, we'll be back in a minute.
Better make a note of that, my new number.
Yeah, I got it. I it's just like that muscle memory. I just did it by instinct.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds. Hold on, I'm going to get William. Okay, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to conference William in. Okay, hold on. All right, we have about 20 seconds, William.
Okay.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated, as we do every weekday morning at this time, with our first look at the gold and precious metals for our new week. William Youngerman, how are the metals starting the week off?
Metals starting very strong after Friday's very strong Friday. We had a close last week of gold at $3,684, up $40.40. Trading as high as $3,686 last Friday. Silver closed up Friday $1.27 up at $43.01 the ounce.
Wow.
With platinum gaining $21 at $1,404, and palladium was off $22 at $11.34. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $36.83 all the way up to $3,729 the ounce. And right now, we are at $3,717 the ounce. That's up $33. Silver up another 39 cents at $43.40. Platinum up $6 at $1,410, and palladium up $26 at $1,160. The U.S. dollar index continuing to hit new lows, down to a dollar index right now 97.44. That means everything is going to cost more coming into this country from overseas. And gold, like I said, $3,717
Wow.
the ounce now.
This is crazy. This is awesome.
New record highs. New record highs.
Okay, so we hit another record high today. William, we're hitting record highs like every day. I'm losing track. It's this is awesome stuff. I wanted though for you to talk to people that can't make it into your shop, whether they're somewhere else in town and can't make it in, or another part of the country or the world. How the transactions work over the phone and through the mail, and how they're different than all these crazy people I see online and on television when people do business with you.
You'll find it real easy to do business with us. You just pick up the phone, dial our 800 number, lock in the price of gold, silver, platinum, whatever you're looking to buy, wire the funds, and the merchandise is shipped out to you fully insured either the same day or the very next day. So it's very easy, and you'll find that our prices are the most competitive anywhere. You'll save a great deal of money doing business with us, I promise you.
Absolutely. These places you see online and on television, this is my just following it. I'm not the expert like William Youngman, but they're overcharging it and for the metals. And then you get your name on like a list, and they start calling you. You're not going to get any of that with William Youngerman, okay? You're not going to get on any telemarketers list or anything else. The number for William Youngerman, they open up at 10 a.m. Eastern, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. That's 1-800-327-5010. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And find both his address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you.
All right, take care. Take care. All right, we are back. You want to take more calls, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, we have not heard from one rational Democrat. I even heard one Democrat have any sympathy for this assassination or this widow, anything, or the children. Not one. Not just here in our audience. I'm talking about anywhere. Right? All right, let's go.
Well, they're between the rock and the hard place.
I don't know. And they're actually making a moral equivalent between the assassination of Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel missing a couple nights of his show. To them, I'm not kidding. They think that's...
It goes to show you how removed from reality they are.
Yeah. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
This is... be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's plot.
What are you reading?
Wait, let me finish.
No. Take a breath. Take a breath. You want me to hang up?
Stop.
Just let me get one word.
Do you want to actually talk and let somebody finish, or do you want to?
I want to know what you're reading. I want to know what you're reading from.
I'm reading a quote directly from Charlie Kirk.
What do you got in your hand?
We know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go
I don't take you really seriously. Believe me, no one takes
seriously.
Seriously.
Is that comment racist? Is that comment racist? Is it? Is it racist? Tell me, Steve.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You heard me read the quote twice. Is it racist?
That's not... Charlie Kirk never said that.
Yes, he did. I've seen video of him saying it.
No, you haven't.
Do not deny
what are you reading?
I can show you the video. I can put the video in your fucking
You said you had it in your hand.
Second dump of the day. We had to hit the dump button. Charlie. Yeah. If you're on hold, stand by. We've got to wait for the delay to re-engage. This is what I would do. And this is something we've never done. Instead of reading from Democrat websites and things, cue up the audio of Charlie Kirk saying these things and play them over your phones in the future over to us. And I'll let that happen. Charlie Kirk didn't say anything like that. What happened was, I can't remember what airline it was, but one of the CEOs of one of the major airlines did an interview and was bragging about the DEI hires with their pilots. And everyone in the country, us, Charlie Kirk, everybody that's got a microphone, was saying that would you want to fly on an airplane that was flown by DEI hires? And of course, everyone says no to that. And what Charlie Kirk was talking about, which is something we all were talking about, if they're bragging that their pilots are DEI hires, if you see a non-white or female pilot, you're wondering, did they really make it? Or are they a DEI hire? That's what he was talking about. And no, that's not racist. That's just life preservation. I mean, if an airline painted on the side of their airplane, this plane proudly flown by a DEI hired pilot, would you get on the plane? You'd have to be out of your mind. And the reason you hear people like that read these things and not play the audio is because Charlie Kirk didn't say any of these things, okay? Oh boy.
Well, you nailed him. You nailed him good.
Yeah, but we would have done a better job if he didn't drop the F-bomb, and...
well, that's their easy out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the lifeline, Before we go, I want to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. At Friendly Tire in Margate, you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And when I say out the door and on the road, what I mean by that is Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. And you can get brand new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire, brand new. And that's for common sizes on some of the most common vehicles on the road. I'm not talking about Fiat tires that are the size of golf carts. I'm talking about some of the most common cars on the road these tires fit. So give Friendly Tire a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. Hold on, the phones are ringing off the hook. I don't know, Steve, do you want to hang over for the after show today, or up to you? Oh, did we lose you? All right, hold on. All right. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. All right, are you there, Steve? All right.
Hello?
Yeah, Steve, do you want to hang over for the after show today, or do you want to not?
Sure.
It's up to you. Okay. So if you're on hold, stand by. A lot, I haven't mentioned this on the show, the radio show too much. I've expanded the show to 4 hours. I start early and run late. Okay, so I started like 5:15 today, Steve. So it's been a long morning. So we may take some calls after the top. We'll see. We have time to take one more though before the end. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Oh, hey, Brian.
You talked about a powerful moment. Hi, Steve. How are you? What a powerful moment we had. This moment of forgiveness where Erika Kirk forgave the shooter, and I wasn't even sure she would get through it. This is going to resonate for a long time, and is going to have a global resolution to it, too. And I think the fact that not one Democratic caller called today to express sympathy for this family and for this lady who lost her husband is a disgrace. And let me tell you, it is the end of the Democratic Party, and they're not going to be missed. They bury themselves. They're a disgrace. This family and this movement we have now is here to stay, and we're going to look back at it. This is one of the greatest moments, I think, in television history. And this woman, the strength she displayed yesterday, and President Trump consoling her after this entire service was huge. Goodbye to the Democratic Party. You're a disgrace. And
that's right.
It's just, it's stunning. Stunning.
It was
Very powerful moment.
Yeah, it was. All right. Hey, thank you for the call. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, then I'll be back with you in a couple minutes, all right? So everybody is on hold. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We'll be back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., guys. We've had some great calls, but not one half-decent Democrat today. Not one person had anything other than unhingedness. God bless. Charlie Kirk. Simone. All right, we're off the air. Are you with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
All right, you want to take some more calls? We're in the post-show now, so we don't have to worry about the dump button as much, okay?
Oh, good.
So, sometimes, though, when somebody does it, my hand starts to move because I catch myself with the instinct. But if you want to call in, well, let me just take the people that are on hold, and then we'll worry about others calling in. All right, we're looking for one Democrat who has sympathy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
All right, Jessica.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about the memorial yesterday. It was very inspirational. We did feel that it was a revival. There were 3 speeches that I liked and that I enjoy very much watching and listening to. The first speech was J.D. Vance. I believe that he looked presidential and sounded presidential. Yesterday was his day, by the way.
Yeah.
I also like Jack Venkovic. I think that's his name. I think he's from Turning Point. I love his speech. I love the way that he defended his beliefs, his Christian beliefs, and his conservative ideology. And I also like Stephen Miller.
Oh, he's the best. I love Stephen Miller.
Yeah, he's great.
Stephen Miller reminded us that Democrats haven't built anything. They haven't created anything. What they have done is destroy everything that conservatism has done and built for this country and Western civilization.
Yeah.
Stephen Miller's speech was astounding, and I loved it, and I admire him for that because he reminded me of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was empathetic, but he also was a warrior of his beliefs. Charlie Kirk defended Christianity and defended his ideology. And that's what we can not ever forget.
That's true. Yeah, it was a pretty powerful moment. All right, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. Hold on, Steve. I'm gonna answer these lines. I want to put you on hold here. We got this new phone you have. You sound better than you've ever sounded. Did I lose you again though when I said that? Oh boy, Steve's gonna kill me. All right, you back, Steve? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, this new phone you have is spectacular. I don't know what it is, but
it's spectacular. But I'm still losing some calls.
Yeah, well, we got you. We got you. No. I put you on hold for a second while I was doing something. It's spectacular. It's a whole new ball game. So it's well spent. I just got to get used to it myself because it's different on this end. All right, let's take another call or two. You know what? Just talk for a minute before we take some more of these pervs. You know, the calls today, almost 4 hours. I've heard from 6 to 10 Democrats. We had a lot of calls today. 6, 10, 12 Democrats. All of them angry and hostile. Mm-hmm. And it's not just our listeners. It's been this way nationwide. I have not heard a single Democrat say, the closest they come is, oh, the shooting was bad, but Charlie said these things.
But in fairness, though, you can't blame them, can you?
Yeah. If somebody on the left died like this, we wouldn't be
they're being destroyed. You know, they may try to block it out, and they may try to convince themselves that there's still a force, and that it's just a bad period that will be followed by the good old days or something like that. But the fact is, they're gone. I mean, they even if they don't realize it consciously, it's starting to dawn on them that they represent a group of people that are just no longer a viable political party in America. They've just come out to be monsters.
They've come out. They've been exposed. They've been monsters for a long time. And you know they've let their party get taken over by these low lives and degenerates. You know, Jasmine Crockett, Bernie Sanders, Schumer. You know, Schumer is so out of touch with reality. If he really is going to shut down the government, he is going to look like a total monster. I like how...
Well, that's why they call it the Schumer shutdown.
I like how, I like how Trump is saying, I don't care what the governor of Illinois wants. I'm going into Chicago.
Yeah, right.
And he keeps saying it every day. I mean, it's like when Trump was talking last night, he said, Biden's out there when he was running, I'm going to stop the MAGA movement. He's like, did anybody tell him it's Make America Great Again? I mean, who could be against that? And as crazy as this sounds so stupid, because it is, but it's true. The Democrats are against, they always were called, people always called the left, the Democrats, the Hate America First crowd. And they've always denied it. But now they're openly against making America great again. They are openly against it. How dare you end crime in these cities? How dare you, it's just like they took out a third cartel boat, right? And every time they take,
the problem for them is they don't carry any weight anymore. Mm-hmm. They have no constituency.
Yeah.
Or too many constituencies.
They're over
between the commie segment of the party and the regular socialist.
That's right.
Segment.
All right, Steve. We'll run, but I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Take care. All right. So if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to remind you all that the extended show, the 4 hours in the morning, the afternoon show, and everything I'm bringing you is sponsored by Mike Lindell at MyPillow. And you got to go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and let Mike Lindell know that his support is money that's very well spent. And he knows that when you go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. There's great deals there. You can use our promo code on all the specials at MyPillow.com, and the free shipping offer is still in effect. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Stephen, Brian, it's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ,
Sorry
what's
about
that noise in the background? What is that, music box?
It's an alarm that goes off.
It sounds like a music box. Does it have a little ballet dancer there? Ballerina?
It's for my dog.
Oh, okay.
It's to remind me to do some medicine.
I do this. Hey, listen, we've got devices all over the house that go off to remind me and my wife to do all kinds of things. I get,
if I don't, we talked about this the other day. We have this moment where we can't remember something, like the politicians and the Saint Carlo and things like that. So I do little alarms like that. But today's discussion, Charlie's memorial and. Just listening to all the people, mostly, good callers. We obviously had the unhinged crew, the woke smoke crew come in.
Yeah.
But it's that stuff's just all going away. I look at this like it's an awakening. It's like an epic flood. It's not the flood of Noah, really, but it's similar in the sense that truth is the water. And righteous, people, truthful people, humanity, really, hearts and souls and minds of that nature are on the ark. And the rest of them, the Democrats, the rhinos, these people that just can't seem to find
you know what it is with the Democrats?
sympathy,
Okay.
getting washed away.
President Clinton, I know people forget President Clinton because you see him now and he looks, so frail and everything else. President Clinton was an incredibly smart president. And in 1994, Newt Gingrich led the Republican Revolution and took back both houses of Congress. And it was the first time Republicans controlled the House and the Senate at the same time, like in 30 years or 40 years at the same time, at that time. And Newt Gingrich and the Republicans had the Contract for America, of which I can't remember all the points of it except welfare to work. And it was very popular. Bill Clinton was up for re-election, and instead of going against these popular things, he made them his own platform. And everything that Newt Gingrich ran on with the Republican Revolution was Bill Clinton's 1996 presidential platform. Because things were so popular, he was smart enough to know it's idiotic to go against it. The Democrats don't have any smart people anymore like President Clinton. And they just don't see that, you know what? This guy was murdered.
That's a very good analogy, Brian.
Yeah.
That is a very, very, very good analogy.
Well, thank you very much.
Because it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Those are the best analogies.
Yeah.
Truth, when Charlie, this is the thing with the Democrats. They don't know the truth when you can feed it to them slowly. They just don't see it. And part of the problem for them is that the Democrats that are in this, in this stew, they don't realize that they are in the lie. But here's the thing: when somebody like Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and then you have all these people that are out there celebrating the death of this beautiful young man, that is a slap in the face. A blunt force trauma slap to the people that may have been on the fence on the Democrat. Charlie, like I told, this epic flood. There have been so many people that have been swept, that they have seen how horrible these people are. Like Renee, when Renee is at his worst, which is pretty much when he calls, people get to see it. Now, your radio show is one thing, but which is expanding, which is awesome. But the whole world got to see. Because of social media, they have now. It was the downfall of all of the deep state, really, when the truth can be shown to everybody. And there's the dog again. The truth can be shown.
Does your dog hit that thing?
Everyone.
Does your dog turn that thing on?
No. It just goes off. It goes off twice. Once in case the second time is in case I'm in the middle of something like right now.
It's the snooze alarm.
It's funny. I'm sorry that happened.
That's okay.
But people have seen how evil they are, and they realize, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong side of this. I don't stand for this. You had the one guy that called in and said, I wasn't for this one liar today. He said, I didn't want this. I didn't do this. Then he turned around and he used the word, we want to help the poor. We want to help the poor. Help the poor. You create the poor.
Yeah.
That guy was so involved in his own lies.
I didn't get
no clue.
because he dropped. he made a comment accusing me of performing fellatio on the president.
Yes,
so I had to let him go.
Drop him. Yeah.
So I had to drop him.
Classy guy.
You know, but I can think of no better way to help working poor people than to have no tax on tips or overtime.
Yes. and creating more jobs and getting rid of the illegal aliens here that take up all the jobs.
Yep.
And Jay from Jersey is another example, Brian. And then I know you're very busy, you and Steve. God bless you both. He said the other day about the hangings down in it's actually in Mississippi where these 2 hangings took place. And you were talking to him about it, and the medical examiner had said it was, no foul play, this and that. And he screamed. The medical examiner was white. Do you remember him saying that?
Yes.
Well, I actually decided to just, spend 5 minutes, because that's about all it took, maybe 10. I looked up who the medical examiner was. The medical examiner there, his name was Randolph Seals, and he's a black man.
Oh,
and
my
guess
goodness.
Who else is black?
Oh.
The county sheriff is also black. In this area where this Delta State University is 50% black, and 43% white, with 7% basically everybody else in the United Nations.
Wow.
So this is not, this is not a, this is not the 19 whatever. You don't have. He's a black medical examiner.
That's amazing.
But he doesn't want to hear that.
No.
He has to hear the Renee version. He has to hear this. I didn't want that. He has to hear the lie, because the truth will. The tribalism doesn't work.
You heard me with some of these callers. I asked one caller, go through all the assassinations in America. That would be in a high school history book, and tell me which assassin was a Republican. You can't do it. Assassins.
You can't.
No.
It's not there.
No.
It doesn't. The Al Sharpton Ponzi scheme is over, guys.
And I know some people may say, well, wait a minute. JFK was a Democrat. He was killed by a leftist who defected to the Soviet Union, and Lee Harvey Oswald's wife is the daughter of a Soviet general. Okay, that's a leftist. He was killed by a leftist, regardless of the conspiracy behind him.
If JFK were alive today, he would have voted for Trump, and he would also be in the cabinet right alongside. But that's where he would be.
When I see Bobby,
that's reality.
When I see Bobby Kennedy at these events, I always say to my wife, I said his dad and uncle would be so proud of him. And let me give you an example of how anytime Bobby Kennedy comes out, this happens. But the first time he came out at a MAGA rally and endorsed the president, everybody stands up and gives him a standing ovation. That's out of respect for who he is, who his dad was, who his uncle was, and an understanding to have a Kennedy who's with the Republicans. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
With the sparklers too, Brian. And that was Charlie's idea.
He might, with the sparklers.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Kennedy may lose his trust fund, right? So being in a Republican cabinet. It might be a condition that Joe Kennedy put in. All right, listen, I'm going to move on, but thanks for the call. All right, take care. Thanks so much, everyone. If you're new to the program, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. Anytime I'm live streaming in the studio, I take live calls like I'm doing right now. And of course, I've got my afternoon show, my weekend show, my podcast. It's all right here on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you later. Take care. Thanks for watching.